to be getting them out or getting them brought to justice.
Chief Justice John Roberts disagrees with impeachment, writing for more than 2 centuries it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in D.C. A federal judge in D.C. rules against President Trump's ban on transgender troops.
The judge's ruling says that excluding transgender troops from being service members likely violates their constitutional rights. It stems from a January executive order signed by Trump that claimed the sexual identity of trans military members is harmful to troop readiness. Plaintiffs suing the government include an Army major with a Bronze Star and a Naval Sailor of the Year award winner. Thousands of transgender people serve in the military, but make up less than 1% of the total number of active duty service members. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The threat for tornadoes has increased. You have a clear radar in downtown Indianapolis where it's 57 degrees. Your high today, 67. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Tornadoes are likely across the state as severe weather moves in later today. Matt Eckhoff is a forecaster at the National Weather Service. He explains what's changed in the forecast in the last 24 hours.
The threat for tornadoes increased since yesterday due to a few factors, such as the wind direction is a little bit different compared to yesterday, since it's now looking like the storm system itself is a bit further south.
And speaking of wind, a wind advisory is in effect at 11 with severe weather expected here at about 5 o'clock. 2 people were hit by gunfire last night on Indy's south side. The cops think it had something to do with a fight at A&A Market along South State Avenue. 2 people shot are expected to survive, and the cops are looking into this. A church on the near west side of Indianapolis was vandalized on Tuesday.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
That woman reacted to the vandalism on Facebook Live. Spray paint covered windows and buses and sidewalks at Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. IMPD is looking into this. They have their man in Bloomington. John Herrick reports on the next Indiana University head men's basketball coach.
Indiana University has hired Darian DeVries. DeVries is coming to Bloomington from West Virginia, where he just finished with a 19-13 record and missed the NCAA tournament, but West Virginia only had 9 wins prior to him coming there. He also had 5 20-win seasons at Drake prior to that. You can read more about DeVries at WIBC.com. John Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
IU basketball player Malik Renew has entered the transfer portal, and the Indiana Pacers are back home to begin a 5-game homestand against the Dallas Mavericks. Both Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam are listed as questionable for the game that begins at 7. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Now with traffic, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Ryan, looking at northbound 465 on the east side. A little bit slow from 70 up to East 56th Street. And a crash just as Penn Pike east of 465 on the east side. Northbound 65 slow out of the North Split to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
It's tax time, and tax time is your time to buy a new Nissan and get double your tax refund or down payment only at Andy Moore Nissan of Indianapolis. For a limited time, when you buy any new Nissan, Andy Moore Nissan will double your tax refund or down payment up to $5,000. That means your $1,000 becomes $2,000. Your $2,000 becomes $4,000. Your $4,000 becomes $8,000. This month only, Andy Moore Nissan will double your down payment up to $10,000. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Good credit, bad credit, even no credit. Our credit experts will get you approved with the best terms, with as little as $0 down on any new Nissan in stock. Andy Moore Nissan is making deals other dealers won't and approving deals other dealers can't. Andy Moore Nissan, 4302 Lafayette Road, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Now, here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Wind advisory until 8 p.m. Partly cloudy and windy, gusts over 45 miles per hour. Today's high 65. Showers and storms this evening. Some of those could be severe. A low down to 37. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8's Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
And it's 57 degrees on Monument Circle in downtown Indianapolis. It's time for Kendall and Casey right here on 93 WIBC.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, good morning. It is Wednesday, March 19th. It is 7 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC and Splashdown. Finally, the astronauts, Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams, along with some other crew members, returned to Earth in a SpaceX capsule after spending 9 months in space. Rob initially planned an 8-day mission.
It's like Gilligan's Island, right?
Right.
It was a
3-hour tour.
Okay, so one, great that they're home. Great that the rescue mission seemingly went flawlessly, it appears. That's phenomenal. These people are heroes. They should get a huge thank you and a round of applause because, wow, you want to talk about I don't care if you're into space or not, that sounds like a very miserable existence to spend 9 months in that little bitty vessel and not know that would be the worst part, right? Like not knowing what the future holds.
Yeah. Not knowing when you're coming home or if there is any plan to come get you. The capsule that they used, its heat shield and parachutes slowed it down to 17,000 miles per hour.
Oh, slowed it down to 17,000.
Slowed it down.
Right, yes.
It was going 17,000 miles per hour, and then when it landed in the ocean and all the dolphins were there, it was going a soft 17 miles per hour.
Oh, well, see,
Can you imagine that? You are just whizzing through, and then just a nice, gentle landing.
Okay, so that's the good part of it, right? Great on them. Glad they're home. Thank you to Elon Musk. But then that's the next part of it, right? We have now reached a point in our society where some eccentric, wacky billionaire guy is more competent and more expedient and, quite frankly, better than the might of the federal government? Really?
Yeah.
That's where we're at in our society? I mean, what if Elon Musk was never born? What if Elon Musk didn't exist? Sorry?
What if you said no?
Right? I don't. So Elon Musk has saved more lives in a couple hours than the entire Biden administration combined, right? So you can dump on Elon Musk over Doge or whatever. He's doing more good than the Biden administration. He's already done more good than the Biden administration did their entire time in charge. But where are we at? Why are we putting all this money? I'm not trying to be flippant. I'm not trying to be facetious when I ask this. Why are we giving any money to NASA at this point if eccentric billionaire private company guy can do things that NASA cannot do? Why don't we just give the money to SpaceX? Because clearly it would appear they're much further ahead.
More productive?
Yes, than the federal government.
More effective?
If somebody knows the answer to that, like and I think this is the question that regular people are asking. How is it that the federal government, with all the hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars that is poured into the space program, sometimes it's more than others, but let's face it, there has been a substantial investment in this country. It's not like they couldn't get them home. Either one, they weren't doing it, which, holy smokes, that is horrible that a president had the technology and ability to get our essentially their service people home and chose to let them rot up there. Or why is it that Elon Musk, yeah, he's rich, but he ain't as rich as the federal government. Why is he able to do it and we're not? And one of these two things, one of these two things has to be happening. Either we had the technology and our president was so callous and heartless that he just let those people stay up there, or some dude playing Rocket Man is better than the federal government. These are the only two scenarios that I can see that are playing out here.
Yeah, you got to wonder what was going on with Biden, because if Elon Musk could make it happen, why didn't Biden ask him? Was he ashamed? Was he embarrassed? Was it just, I'm not going to give this guy the cred. Like, what stopped him? Because he had months and months, and Donald Trump did it in, 2 months? Got him home.
And think about, okay, I get that the movies are a little, what are they, dramatic effect, right? It's not exactly how it went down. But if you've ever seen the movie Apollo 13, think about the smart people that work for NASA and how they figured out how to get those people home. Now, again, I get that the Gary Sinise, the real-life Gary Sinise guy, probably didn't go exactly as it's portrayed, but they had to get super creative on the fly to get those people home. That is not in dispute. How is it that we have those sort of people working, and I assume those are still, maybe not anymore. Maybe the DEI, maybe the hiring people based on color and sex versus the best. Maybe it's infiltrated NASA to the point where we can't do that anymore. But I want to believe, I'm Fox Mulder over here, I want to believe that we still have really smart people working for NASA. Why is it that Musk could get them home? And are we just simply saying now, well, if crisis hits, unless Elon can figure it out, good luck.
Yeah. Well, the astronauts, they're going to undergo some routine health checks. Now that they're back, they're going to go to Johnson Space Center. And that's got to be weird, right? 9 months without gravity, and then you're back on Earth. And, ooh, it's got to feel just so heavy and just weird to your body, the effects that does to you. But they splashed down in the Gulf of America, just outside of Tallahassee. That's called the Apalachicola Bay, Rob.
Oh.
It took me a long time to learn how to say that, so I'm going to say it again. Apalachicola Bay.
Never been there, I assume.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been there. But
you have?
Oh, yeah. And pronounce it Apalachicola.
Oh, wait. You didn't just learn how to say it.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant that you were practicing before the show. No. You learned to say it long ago. I got you. I understand.
But this is what it sounded like when they came home.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
Okay, so I have a question about this because I don't understand how the space works. When their person's doing that, by the way, that lady sounds just like, remember in the Austin Powers movies with the Dr. Evil underground lair and the guy's doing the countdown? She sounds exactly like one of those people. Do they let, like, does Elon Musk just go, here's the technology, and then the federal government takes over? Is that an Elon Musk person? No, that was a NASA person, right? That was doing.
Well, that audio came from the NASA X account, but I don't know if that was a NASA employee or if that was a SpaceX employee.
Because if you're Elon Musk, wouldn't you just be like, get out of my way, I'll do it myself? You don't get to do countdowns. You don't get to pick them up. I'll handle it. You complete buffoons.
Well, you'd think that if that were a SpaceX employee, they would say something like, this is amazing!
Yeah, you would think it would be a little more. Yeah, that was pretty lifeless and without much emotion, so it probably was a federal government person.
Yeah. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Another thing that happened involving Elon Musk, that U.S. district judge ordered Musk and Doge to immediately give U.S. aid employees access to their emails, payments, security information, and all other electronic systems. So they pretty much ordered a pause or anything that Donald Trump has been trying to do to shut down USA.
And so this comes to the thing with the judge trying to say the terrorists, that's what those gangsters are. Those Venezuelan gangsters are terrorists. Oh, no, you got to bring them back here as though they have some sort of constitutional rights or whatever, right? So, you are seeing like we've never seen before, and judicial activism has been a thing for a long time. But and this is the argument that the Trump administration was making. By the way, Stephen Miller shredded some I think it was a CNN anchor the other day about this. It was awesome. These judges now have elevated the judicial activism to a level we have never seen before, to the point now where a local district court judge is now deciding national security.
Yeah.
And so where does it end? And that's the argument Trump and his administration are making is, where does this end? So at any point, some local district court judge wants to weigh in on anything now, even if it's not in their jurisdiction. Well, you've got to respect it because the judge said. So local district court judges in this are now dictating public policy in this country. And not only are they dictating public policy, they're dictating how Trump does his job as commander-in-chief in national security. And that's why they just said, nah, we're over international waters. Too bad. See ya. Not turning around.
So we're just going to ignore you in the order that this came in.
Look,
isn't this the Democrats' play now? Everything has to go to court. I just imagine the lawyers they have lined up for every single issue, no matter how big or how small. Well, that's what they're doing.
But all you've got to do, and this is the major issue, and look, it was totally inappropriate of John Roberts to respond to Trump talking about that judge. That judge should be impeached. That judge was totally outside the bounds of their authority on what they were trying to do, as many of these judges are, but especially when it deals with national security, and especially when it deals with, everybody knows who these people were. It's not like there's some innocent group of individuals here. They're Venezuelan terrorists. They're people enacting terrorism and violence on the people of this country. And now you have judges, and it tells you who these people are, right? They're team Venezuelan terrorist at this point. That's who these judges are. They hate Trump so much that they would rather Venezuelan terrorists be allowed to operate in this country, or so they have some more sympathy for Venezuelan terrorists, that they are going to interfere in the president doing his job as commander-in-chief. And that's where the left is. And so this is my question. So at any point now, any judge can just dictate policy for the entire country, because that's what they're doing on all of these issues. Some of them are worse than others, but the idea that a judge now can dictate the president doing his job as commander-in-chief is unbelievable.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It is 93 WIBC.
Indianapolis roads, a total disaster. Some of the worst potholes in America. Am I right?
A car on Keystone Avenue just fell into one the size of a swimming pool.
Disgraceful. These roads should be great again. But right now, they look like the surface of the moon.
Suspension repair shops are making a fortune.
Rigged system. But Matt Baer, he's the guy to trust. Tremendous at avoiding these disasters. Just tremendous.
Matt Baer, making your commute great again. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place is a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
One of the
real advantages that we have here at Hendricks is the scope of the services that we have to offer in orthopedics.
Whether they have a hip fracture or they're a high-functioning athlete, we're all working towards the same thing.
To have them be able to have an elective surgery safely and then go home also in a safe fashion is of utmost importance.
We very much want everyone to get back to doing everything that they're doing beforehand. We're really invested in it.
Unstoppable orthopedic care. Learn more at hendricks.org/ortho.
The floodgates are about to open in Indiana as spring approaches. Don't press your luck thinking your sump pump is working properly before it's too late. A sump pump is vital to protecting your home from heavy rains and rising waters that can sneak inside and wreak havoc in your home. Luckily for you, during the month of March, my friends at Hope Plumbing are offering a $300 off the purchase of a new sump pump with a battery backup. Call Hope Plumbing today and keep your head above water.
Technology Recyclers is the safe and ethical choice for your computer and electronics recycling. R2 certified, 100% landfill free, guaranteed destruction of data, and absolutely free pickups. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
All right, Casey.
Yeah, Rob.
We're going to do the video tomorrow.
We are going to do the video tomorrow for your 4-point plan.
Yeah, I'm going to fix the property tax issue.
Good. Somebody needs to.
In 4 minutes. So we're going to do the video. So yesterday, I revealed that in a dream,
yeah,
that a plan had come to me that I thought must be someone else's. It was so brilliant. And then I realized my mind is just so great that it was mine. And my mind is always operating. So that's how great my brain is, that it happened in a dream when I wasn't even
fever dream
awake or coherent. And you have now read, I made a little script yesterday for it. I sent it to you.
Very nice. Nicely done.
And so we will shoot the video tomorrow is the plan.
The script has been approved.
Yes. It's,
right.
And we will lay out a 4-step plan to solve the overwhelming majority of the issues of the testimony and things we have heard during this property tax fiasco. And I will address all of those in a simple, easy-to-understand 4-point video plan that will take less than 4 minutes of your time.
Do you want to review the 4-point plan?
Oh, we can do that, yes, if you'd like to.
Because I do have a question for you regarding the 4-point plan.
Absolutely.
So why don't you go through the 4 points?
So step 1 was to freeze property tax assessments for the next 3 years. So whatever your assessment is now is what it will stay for the next 3 years. That will accomplish 2 things. One, it will keep the increases from continuing, so you will know what your property tax bill is going to be. And 2, it will eliminate the excuse from the poor singing orphans of local government who appeared at these hearings that they can't sustain the quote-unquote cut of bronze reset. Of course, they were not worried about you at all when the bill was going up every year. They were gladly spending all the money, but now they can't make do without the money. But let's give them one little benefit of the doubt ski, and so then that will check 2 boxes there, right? Okay, so that's the first one. Yeah. Any questions about that?
They can plan accordingly.
Okay,
too.
no questions, right?
No questions.
Number 2, the legislation will state that property tax laws and the taxes that come with them will end in the state of Indiana in 3 years. So 3 years from whatever we enact this law, July 1st or whatever, the property taxes and the laws that come with them will cease to exist. There will be no more property taxes. That will give these people 3 years to come up with a solution. But you got to put a timer on them because we know how they operate. And if there's not a timer on them, and by the way, if there's no plan, then there is no more local government. Right. So they got 3 years to figure it out. And if they don't, no more local government because property taxes are donezo.
So the great state of Indiana will be out of the property tax business in 3 years.
That's step 2. Any questions on that?
I'm good.
Okay, step 3 will be that the governor, in coordination with the House and Senate, they can structure this however they'd like, will form a committee who will have 1 year to present a plan to the governor and the General Assembly on recommendations to get out of the property tax game. So what does the new system of taxation funding local governments, what does that look like? Then that will give the General Assembly and the governor 2 years to enact this plan.
Mm-hmm.
So year one will be the testimony and the people hearing the sob stories from the libraries and the teachers, and the Mooresville superintendent can come and claim what he'll need to keep the lights on, et cetera, et cetera. So any question on that?
Because like Mike Braun said at the rally, you do want healthy local governments, but they can't outpace the economy.
That's correct.
Okay.
And so that's step 3. Any questions on that?
I'm good.
Step 4, and this will be the very important one, right? Because we're not getting out of here without any savings for you, the taxpayer.
Mm-hmm.
So step 4, since the state budget is set to increase $2.7 billion, which seems like a lot for a state of 7 million people, Case.
It really does seem like a lot of money, doesn't
And
it?
I always hear how Republicans are the fiscally party of fiscal responsibility and getting the most out of very little. 2.7 billion seems like a lot. I'm saying I'm going to say we don't. I'm going to believe in our government that we don't actually need the 2.7 billion. That it's not all going to essentials. And step 4 will direct the governor. Call it Doge, you can call it bananas, you can call it whatever you want, to appoint a committee of people who have to find $2 billion in savings that will then be returned to the taxpayer in the form of a rebate. So that's how you're going to get your Braun bill
reset
back.
Yeah.
Now, I did the math yesterday, and this will be in the video. In 23, when they couldn't spend the money fast enough and they screwed up and were forced to give us a refund, the 4.3 million people got the refund. So if we use that as a guidepost, that means out of $2 billion, that would be about $465 per taxpayer that money would...
How much?
$465.
Okay.
Which is the name of the loop, right? Around city of Indianapolis. So that works out great, $465.
Oh, that's nice.
See,
That's some good
we could have some fun with that.
Good branding there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so my question for you is, and I'm assuming that this will fall under step 3 of the 4-point plan. This would be...
Oh, and by the way, real quick, I didn't mean to cut you off. But the reason they'll have to find the $2 billion is that if they don't, it will say in the legislation that if they don't find the money, the $2 billion will come from the money that goes to public education.
Oh.
So if they don't, the $2 billion is coming from somewhere. If they don't find the $2 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse in the state government,
it'll specify that that's the
it'll come from public education.
That's the bucket it's coming
from. That's right.
From.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So my question is, and I think it falls under point number 3 of the 4-point plan, that this would be part of the committee making the recommendation. They're going to have to set some triggers in there, some goals to be reached along the way. Don't you think?
No, because if they don't do it, local government doesn't have any money. That is the trigger. You got 3 years. You can jack around for 2 and I mean, the committee's got to present a presentation in 1 year. So that's sort of a trigger, right? You got 1 year to present something. Trust me. You know what I'm cheering for, Casey? That they just jack around for 3 years and they don't do anything.
They don't figure it
out. That would be perfect. Because either way, we're out of property taxes. Oh, and by the way, it can't be repealed. It can't. Oh, maybe we should put in there. Now that I'm thinking about it, because you can't trust these people.
Wait, are you adding another plan?
Well, I'm thinking about it. It won't be in the video because I already got the script written. I'm not going back. It's like a movie. The script is already written. We're not paying the writers again. Maybe we should say the vote would have to be, in order to repeal this, 100 to 0 and 50 to 0. In order, if they want to say, no, we're not doing that again, right? Because anything could theoretically be repealed. I can't cover every single basis. But in order to say it'd have to be repealed, you have to have 150 to 0 would have to be the vote. We can find one squirrel in the House and Senate that will be on our side of the 150 people. So anyway, what do you think? I think it's pretty good, right?
I like it. It sounds good. We're going to have fun making the video, and we'll put that out everywhere, including maybe we'll send it to the governor.
Oh, very good. All right. So Merritt's going to join us next. He's going to talk about the rally that we had on Monday. And as a guy who was a lawmaker for a long time, does he think that it made a difference with these lawmakers and what the lawmakers should have been doing at the rally instead of sitting up on their fourth floor perch staring down menacingly at us? Yes.
All right. Jim Merritt joins us next. It's 93 WIBC.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
On the level, on the go.
What's in your forecast? You have a clear radar in downtown Indianapolis where it's 58 degrees. Your high today, 66. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 9:30. A wind advisory goes into effect in about 90 minutes.
We're expecting wind gusts 35 to 45, potentially up to 50 miles per hour in a few spots. The dangers with wind of that magnitude are, you can have some trees and tree limbs coming down, which could cause power outages.
Forecaster Matt Eckhoff at the National Weather Service says severe weather will move across Indianapolis by about 5. Western Indiana could see tornadoes. New tariffs are coming to some countries after President Trump says he's sick of seeing the U.S. get ripped off by its trading partners.
Countries are coming to us and saying, hey, we've been acting pretty rough on you guys, but let's concede this, let's concede that ahead of our announcement. And so there's really a lot of positive movement going on in trade right now.
Kevin Hassett, White House National Economic Council Director, joining Fox News a couple of minutes ago. IMPD says they've just disrupted a drug operation where they've recovered about 2.5 pounds of cocaine. Several people are in jail. This just happening. We're expecting to hear more soon. Darren DeVries will be announced as IU's next basketball coach at a press conference at 11 o'clock. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. All the major indices looking up this morning. The Dow is up 4 points to 41,581.31. The S&P up 10 to 56,1466. And the NASDAQ up 51 to 19,483.36. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association.
Big Joe here. You've heard me talk about Absolute Comfort and the Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits for years. This energy-efficient way to heat and cool your home is a game changer. These systems are smart and can detect when someone is in the room and adjust to your activity. Visit Absolute Comfort at the Flower and Patio Show, booth 382 in the West Pavilion across from the Beer Garden. Ask for Jeremy or Chris to answer all your questions. Absolute Comfort, your trusted American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, they've got the tax time sale going on, and oh my goodness, this could be great for you on so many levels. Don't you love? Not only is it great for me, but it could be great for me on many levels. Here's level 1. You buy 2 windows, you get the next 2 free. No limit. Need 4, you only pay for 2. Need 20, you only pay for 10. You get how this works. And part 2, level 2. Of greatness. Something that'll make your wallet even happier. Pay no interest until 2030. That's right, no interest for the next 6 years, making it easier than ever to afford the quality windows your home needs. But wait, there's a level 3. It's like a video game, right? Each level more entertaining than the last. Universal Windows Direct is giving you an extra $500 off your home improvement project. So let's review. Level 1 of the tax time sale. Buy 2, get 2 free. Level 2, pay no interest until 2030. Level 3, $500 off your home improvement project. Some restrictions may apply, so call today, 317-659-7574, 317-659-75. I'm so excited. I'm sneezing happiness. 317-659-7574. Let me say it again, Casey. 317-659-7574. Almost made it to the end of that spot without sneezing. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
What a day.
You're working too hard.
We're both working too hard with even less to show for it.
What
What's this?
It's the bills for Tracy's procedure.
This is outrageous.
I know. And Mom just said her prescriptions went up again.
How can working people afford this?
These medical bills are crushing our finances, and these hospitals and insurance groups are making record profits.
You know, I read Indiana has the 9th highest healthcare costs in the nation, and prescription drug costs are out of control.
That's why I voted for Mike Braun. He has a plan to reform Indiana's broken healthcare system. Braun's plan calls for billing transparency, increased access, and lower costs for all Hoosiers.
I hear you. It's good to know help is on the way. Mike Braun's plan will offer real relief for our family budget.
Sign the petition for Braun's healthcare plan at HoosierHope.org. Join Mike Braun's fight for healthcare reform today. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Whether you're preparing for retirement, navigating a life transition, or simply wondering if you're on the right path, Howard Bailey Financial is here to help. Together, we'll work on a personalized plan designed to bring greater clarity to your goals and help you approach decisions with confidence. It's not just about numbers, it's about the life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. With over 20 years of experience, Howard Bailey Financial has been dedicated to guiding individuals as they work toward taking control of their financial future and finding peace of mind. Text PATH to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement toolkit and start planning for the retirement you've dreamed of. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Our main streets are whitewashed windows and vacant stores. Seems like there ain't nobody.
So the property tax rally came and went. Did we move the needle? Let's find out from a guy who was an expert at observing rallies and then voting on things. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here. Joining us by phone today. You know him from 30 years in the Indiana Senate. Nobody knows that building like this guy. Jim Merritt, hello.
Hello, Robert.
So we were, we packed the place. Abdul reported that the state police had said nearly 1,000 people attending the property tax rally. And we talked about this in State House Happenings. What stood out to me is, other than the 3 state reps that were scheduled to speak, and then obviously the governor and lieutenant governor, but the 3 state reps, Haggard and Prescott and Ireland, got up there and spoke. Not one state representative that I'm aware of came down there to mingle, to talk to people, say, hey, explain what you're going through. We could see them up on the 4th floor, up in their perch, looking down on us like the Grinch. Why didn't any of these people, do they think that little of us? None of them came down and engaged.
Well, first of all, Robert, that was a great demonstration of strength to the movement that you are one of the leaders of, and it's everybody, all 1,000 of those people, along with the other rallies, they all had to go through metal detectors. They had to go security. They had to know where they were going, although it looked like it was noise enough they could find it. But congratulations to everybody there. And what the legislators who weren't there, the other 147, they're trying to figure out what their next step is. And this is pressure. This is challenge. Soon it will be April. The end of April is when they constitutionally have to adjourn sine die. And so you just kind of ratcheted up the pressure. The 1,000 people that are listening to this, and the others that couldn't get off work, that they were celebrating St. Patrick's Day. The movement had a great step forward, and congratulations to everybody that participated and that were there in spirit.
Jim, you strike me, though, as the sort of guy who, when you saw an event, because you used to, go to people's homes, send me an angry letter, I'll come to your house and talk to you, right? That's how you man up and do things in a peaceful, polite way. You strike me as the sort of guy that you would not have hung out on the 4th floor. You would have come down and said, tell me about your issues. And none of these people that I'm aware of did that.
If I were a state senator, what I would have done is I wouldn't have spoken because the leadership. I was number 2 guy in the Indiana Senate as majority caucus chair, and we always leave it to the president of the Senate and the person leading the tax committee and the people that are the spokesmen of the caucus or of the Senate itself in these matters. But I would have kind of weaved my way through and tried to find a constituent and just kind of soak the whole thing in, because I'm a curious person and I really didn't fear talking to people and making a misstep in that regard. But what's very, very important is what happens next.
All right, so let's talk about that. And I have Abdul and I, and you got into this on State House Happenings. Abdul and I were talking about this yesterday off air. I've not seen a moment like this where there is the issue, the hot button issue, and there's no clear path on how it's going to end. RFRA, I think, was sort of the last time. What was that, 10 years ago, where you've got the governor who's really dug in. Look, Braun cannot backtrack. He cannot sign bull crap. He cannot do anything, especially after that great speech he gave Monday. So you've got him, and then you've got the House and Senate who have competing bills. They're not even close to being lined up on what they want to do. And so it's like three guys in a standoff. I have no idea what's going to happen here. None.
I don't think they do either. I think they're scrambling. RFRA, the demonstrations with that were after the bill was passed, and so that really wasn't during the whole process. What right now, just to set this up, Senate Bill 1 passed the Indiana Senate, went over to the House for their deliberation. The bill itself was heard in committee. There's been a suggestion by the chairman of the Ways and Means that they amend another bill that we had never heard of before, House Bill 1402, into that bill. So that scrambles the eggs over there. In the Senate, the House Bill 1001 is now being deliberated on in the Senate committee that's in charge of it. And so
that's the budget.
Yes, the budget. And so right now we're at kind of loggerheads. They are at loggerheads on actually what to do. And the big issue right now is what is the future of the state of Indiana in the economy, what their economic forecast is going to be in April, which is announced sometime very soon. And that will give the people that are designing the budget, they're building the budget, that has been looked at for the last couple of years. And in fact, the legislature will look to see what they can do with Medicaid, what they can do with school funding, what they can do with property taxes. And right now they're really scrambling to, if and I don't know how you surgically strike this in regards to those that have been victims of bad assessments. And that's really what all this comes down to, is the subjectivity of assessment on your home or on your business, on your apartment complex, and how they can slay that dragon. And that's what they're really working on right now. And they just have to find out if the economy is doing very well, which I believe it is in the state of Indiana, what cash they can do to take care of these sore points.
Jim Merritt, our guest, you know him for 30 years in the Indiana Senate. We're talking about our property tax rally Monday and the impact that might have had on the legislators. He still knows a lot of these guys. Many of them he served with, and he knows how the system works. All right, so multiple people said they then, after the rally, found or talked to their state senator, House rep, whatever, and basically got the same theme from these people. Yeah, that's nice. We ain't doing that. And my question to you is, are these lawmakers actually that stupid that, like, when the Mooresville school superintendent gets up and says, I'm going to shut the lights off if you guys do this, are they actually that stupid to believe that? And if the answer is no, then why aren't they doing something? They know what you just said, Jim, which is the whole system is messed up. The way local government is structured is messed up. The assessments are messed up. The assessors are saying assessment process is messed up. So if they're not that stupid to believe the Mooresville superintendent is going to shut the lights out, why are they placating these people, and why aren't they doing something?
Well, if one steps back a couple of years, there was actually a commission by the Indiana General Assembly to look at income taxes and the whole because places like Tennessee and Texas and Florida, they have no income tax, and that's who we are competing with for economic development, for people to come to the state of Indiana and be employed to pay more taxes. And property taxes were not really on the list to study and essentially assessment. And so what a legislator's thinking is, well, the state of Indiana doesn't participate in the assessment. That's at the local level. That's at the county level. And you know, if people recall, we used to have township assessors in Marion County.
That's
and
right.
So they're scrambling to figure out how to patch this up. And what I've said, and I'll say this to the audience again, what will end up happening is the governor, the property tax relief will be put into the budget, and in House Bill 1001 in the Senate, and then the House will be able to look at House Bill 1001 to see if they agree with the changes, and whatever happens, it could end up that the governor vetoes the budget of the state of Indiana.
Oh, that would be glorious, Jim. If the governor vetoed the budget, which Braun would have to do if he doesn't get the actual property tax relief, he would have to veto the budget for the state, and that would be the best thing to ever happen to this show. That would be awesome.
Well, it very well could be, because that's really only his leverage. You know, Senate Bill 1 or House Bill 1402 or any of these situations, he could veto that. And they override it, but what is going to be in that bill? And so the whole issue is the budget, state of Indiana, House Bill 1001, and what the legislature is going to do to make everybody happy in the 150.
Jim, I got about 30 seconds left. I have to ask you this. Nobody knows the history of this state like you. Has the governor ever actually vetoed the budget?
There's been a threat of it, but in my 30 years, I don't recall that being the case. There was a time when the legislature put the legalization of the riverboats. The legislature did this, and the governor considered it, but signed it. But we went to June 30th that year in special session.
Oh, that would be awesome. You just made the day of so many people at the idea that Braun might veto the budget. They would erect a statue to that guy if he did that on the political right. Oh, my gosh. All right, Jim Merritt, we'll look forward to seeing you in person next week. You're the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show 3:06 this afternoon. We could have some severe thunderstorms in the afternoon. We're keeping an eye on that and more Hammer and Nigel Records Madness, 93 WIBC.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. When your garage floor has stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your whole garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job looks even worse. Look, spring will be here on March 20th. For your best price of the year on your new garage floor, basement, or patio, and installation this spring, please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Guaranteed, a Comer & Cross concrete floor coating won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. In one day, we make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. And apply your gleaming new Comer & Cross concrete floor in 6 stages, just in time for spring. For your best price of the year on your new garage floor, basement, or patio, and installation by spring, please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
We all have people in our lives we interact with. Maybe it's your favorite barista, a neighbor who waves to you every morning, a coworker you grab lunch with, or maybe it's me, the hairstylist you've gone to for years. What if you learned I had a substance use disorder? Would it change how you see me? It's okay to see the addiction, but when you choose to see the person, not just their disease, it can help change someone's life. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Looking for a great deal on a new Lincoln? Come to Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $15,000 off and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. We look forward to seeing you at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 57,785. Offers good through March 31st, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Join WIBC this Saturday 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show live from Sullivan Hardware and Garden at 71st and Keystone. Kick off spring at their open house. Play Pansy Roulette where you can win 10 to 100% off select items.
You would have thought this was a matter of national security if you read any news sites yesterday, and that was that Netflix dropped a new trailer for the 1996 comedy sequel, Happy Gilmore.
It looks horrible.
You think so?
There's no plot. Did you, Kev, back me up on this. Did you see, could you decipher a plot out of that trailer?
It looked like what, they were down on their money or something, and I haven't swung a club in years.
Yeah, it just seemed like they're playing up the nostalgia aspect, bringing all these actors back.
Totally, that's all they're doing. But I mean, you had 30 years and you couldn't get a plot, like something.
There were so many unanswered questions from the first one.
And I'm not expecting it to be The Godfather, right? Like my standard is not that this should not be. Adam Sandler is not Al Pacino, right? I'm not. I have very low expectations. But I should be able to get a plot out of a trailer. There's no, I mean, John Daly's, I guess the new Chubbs is giving him golf lessons at some point. But, I mean, okay, so.
I'm thinking it kind of goes along the lines of, guy gets girl, guy loses girl, guy gets girl back. It's kind of like a guy loses golf swing, gets golf swing back. I don't know. That's what they're doing here.
I don't know, Casey. It's pretty disappointed. What, do we have some of it?
Yeah, here's a little clip from the trailer.
Arnold. Jacko. Tiger. SpongeBob? What is that? What's with the beaver teeth? I haven't swung a club in years. I'm a little intimidated. All these guys hit it big now. I don't know where to start. Come on, brother. Grip it and rip it. I guess I need to update my happy place to something a little more age appropriate.
So let's also talk about the ridiculousness. That movie was so long ago. Tiger Woods was not even a professional golfer when that movie came out.
Right.
Tiger Woods turned pro at the end of '96. So that's how long that movie has. I mean, why are they doing it?
Money.
They're going to. Yeah, yes, thank you. There's the
money,
answer.
Rob.
Right.
The answer is money. So Bryson DeChambeau, Scotty Scheffler, John Daly, Rory McIlroy, they're all going to appear in the movie. You've also got Travis Kelce and a few others. Adam Sandler's daughters are actually in the movie.
Why? This is the point. Like, have any of these nostalgia remakes, whether it was the Dumb and Dumber movie, Anchorman, any of these, we made them way too long, way too late. Like, if any of them, it turned out to be anything other than just awful.
So Happy Gilmore 2 is going to be available on Netflix starting July 25th.
You know what is not awful is this David Bowie song. Cap, take us to break.
Finally, spring has sprung, and Sullivan Hardware and Garden in Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan are celebrating with our spring open house this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Pat Sullivan here, and that means Pansy Roulette, where everyone is a winner. You could receive between 10 and 100% off your purchase of gift items, plants, garden accents, and grill accessories. Just pick a pansy, go shopping, and let your cashier open the tab to reveal your savings. Check the specials on all of our patio furniture, pre-season priced at 30% off. During this event, you'll get an extra 10% off. Make sure you see the additional spring open house specials throughout all of our stores. And on Saturday, there'll be free seminars on plants, lawns, decorating, container gardening, and much more. Shop, play, experience. Spring with Sullivan's. 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan in Fishers.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and the flash sale is on. 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $109. When was the last time you gave your carpet some love? Listen, they are the largest air filter in your home, and unless those carpets are cleaned on a regular basis, the stuff that's in the fibers can be downright scary. There's a good chance you're breathing unhealthy levels of germs and dander and dirt and bacteria that just keep recirculating again and again. Well, with the Zero Res March flash sale special of 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $109, pick up the phone or go online and book your carpets today. And with their Gotta Love It guarantee, they're going to make sure your investment with them is a great experience. The Zero Res service is easy to line up. Just go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. Mention WIBC, get 3 rooms cleaned starting at $109. $109! It's the Zero Res Flash Sale. Call 317-388-5141 or online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Looking for a cozy spot to relax, work, or grab your coffee to go? LC Coffee House in Noblesville, Indiana has you covered. Try our indulgent affogato, a sweet blend of espresso and ice cream. Or sample our coffee flights to discover your perfect brew. In a rush, our drive-thru is ready to serve you fast and fresh. Need a space to collaborate? We offer meeting rooms perfect for co-working. Whether you're grabbing a quick drink or spending the day with us, LC Coffee House is the place to be.
If this is the year to build your custom dream home, Joyner Homes is ready to help make your dream come true. They offer the flexibility to build on your own lot, allowing you to build a home in the place you've always envisioned. A dedicated in-house team of experts will guide you through every step, offering unmatched personalization and flexibility. Joyner Homes provides clear and upfront pricing and floor plans to inspire you. There's no time like the present to get in touch with Joyner Homes to talk about your vision and learn more about their building process. Visit JoynerHomes.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, severe weather could be a problem for you today. You'll hear how tornadoes affected one Hoosier family, and vandalism in Hawville, what the police and community are saying about it. Those stories and more coming up after Fox News Radio. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Next steps. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump scheduled to speak with Ukraine's President Zelensky this morning about a phone call yesterday with Russia's President Putin. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz on Fox.
This was an important historic call that only President Trump could pull both sides together. He's going from one side to the other. Our negotiators are going from one side to the other. And we are driving both sides closer and closer.
Putin agreed to a limited ceasefire yesterday, stopping attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure. If Ukraine stops attacks on Russian oil and gas facilities, both sides accuse the other of already breaking that overnight. A federal judge blocks efforts to dismantle USAID.
A Maryland federal judge says the push by Elon Musk and his Department of Government Efficiency team to permanently close the U.S. Agency for International Development likely violated the Constitution and robbed Congress of its authority to oversee the shuttering of an agency it created. The judge also ordered that USAID operations be partly restored, along with email access for all of the agency's employees. Musk defended his role on Fox's Hannity.
The reason I'm here is because I'm very worried about America going bankrupt due to the corruption and waste. And if we don't do something about it, the ship of America is going to sink.
The judge warned that not complying with his order could result in Musk or his team being held in contempt. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
The United Nations says an international staffer was killed, 5 others wounded in an explosion at a guest house in Gaza, hit by something dropped or fired. Israel's military resumed airstrikes in Gaza yesterday after a 2-month truce and denies targeting the UN compound. A federal judge in New York refuses to dismiss Mahmoud Khalil's lawsuit over his arrest, detention, and attempted deportation for leading protests at Columbia University. The judge also transferred the case to New Jersey, where Khalil was in custody when attorneys filed for his release, instead of Louisiana, where Khalil was transferred, and the case is being handled now. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
You might have to tangle with twisters. Cloudy and 61 degrees right now in downtown Indianapolis. You've got a clear radar at the moment. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Wind gusts could reach roughly 50 miles an hour today across Indiana.
Minor damage to structures and houses, along with hazardous conditions for high-profile vehicles such as semi-trucks, especially driving in directions that the wind is hitting them from the side.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service says all severe weather threats are possible, especially tornadoes, most likely near the Indiana-Illinois border. Ron Miley and his family spent nearly 50 years building their farm in Gibson County, only to see it destroyed by a tornado in moments.
Miley's family escaped harm after hiding away in their basement. Miley says he lost grain bins filled with corn, barns torn to the ground, and his house is likely a total loss.
If we would just lost the house, it would have been bad enough. We just lost the bins, it would have been bad enough. We just lost the barn, it would have been bad enough. But, you know, at this point, we've lost everything we got.
And now the community is looking to step up and help out. Miley says about 100 people showed up to help pick up the pieces.
That's Wish TV's Phil Sanchez reporting. Curse words and offensive messages seen Tuesday morning on the Friendship Missionary Baptist Church in Hawville. Police say graffiti illustrating that was put up just before a community meeting, and there's been other vandalism incidents as well, with graffiti found on more than 40 buildings last month. A news conference happening this morning at 11:30 to introduce the new Indiana University men's basketball coach, Darian DeVries. He has a winning percentage of higher than 70%, and he coached at Drake in West Virginia prior to coming to Indiana. You can read more about him at WIBC.com. The Indiana Pacers and Eli Lilly are partnering up with what's called STEM Fest this Saturday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Pacers STEM Fest is a popular and fun event that helps spark kids' curiosity about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Pacer Sports and Entertainment CEO Mel Rain says tickets start at $15. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. WIBC News Time, 10:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Are you thinking this year I want to look and feel better and get my hair back? We Grow Hair Indy can help you do just that. I'm Rob, and I got my hair back at We Grow Hair Indy. Here's Darren Andrews, clinic director, to tell you why I chose them.
For nearly 20 years, we've helped thousands of clients grow their hair back, and we can help you. We're one of only 2 places in the entire country to offer the Artist Robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting.
I got multi-unit hair grafting. I love the results and cannot believe how much hair I got back. I can't recommend them enough. Call right now, 317-522-2995 for a free evaluation. Great technology, great company, great people, great results. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com, see my results, and call 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Don't you want to say, I got my hair back?
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Okay. Now it all makes sense.
Does it make sense? Are you okay? You were sneezing earlier. Are you coming down with something?
I've spent the past 24 hours trying to figure out
how to fix property taxes.
I was so focused on that. But then I was like, why is the state treasurer lying right to my face?
But he
wasn't. It turns out
he's
he's
not.
I had misread. So we did the thing yesterday
about Alfred, the State House dog.
That's correct.
Alfie for Indiana.
That's right. And I said, well, whose dog? Like, there's no way the state just has a dog. There's no way this dog is like Kevin from Home Alone. He doesn't just wander around the State House on weekends and at night. It is someone's dog.
Yeah.
But we couldn't figure out whose dog it was.
Well, because it's part of the treasurer's office, and you said, is it Daniel Elliott's dog? And he sent you a message that said, no, it's not my dog.
Well, I didn't. So Daniel, like the state treasurer, sent me a photo of him with the dog. And I didn't read, because I don't read things. And this is part of the problem. I don't read. Right. So he sent me this thing, and I sent it to you. And he said, I don't think you mind me sharing this. He said, Alfie is one of my employees' dogs. My dog is a 5-month-old velociraptor named Kiva. Now, in my mind, and it's him with this dog. In my mind, what I processed, because I wasn't reading or really paying attention, that I read that was the dog. For some reason, that the dog, Alfie, was a velociraptor, and that was it.
He's making a joke.
And he said, she only shields me from squirrels. And then he said, but we can bring Alfie anytime you want.
Yeah.
Well, then the lady who is Alfie's parent,
correct,
sent us a thing on social media and said Alfie would love to meet you guys or whatever. Because here was the thing I said. Look, the thing with Holcomb was he used that dog as a human shield.
You're talking about Henry
as
Holcomb.
a dog shield, not a human shield. Henry Holcomb.
Yeah.
Where, like, I couldn't be critical of the dog, even though, like, when Holcomb would pull bull crap, there's always a photo of him with the dog.
Right.
And he used the dog as a shield to try to shield himself. Look at me. I'm a horrible governor, and I suck at my job.
But here's
and I'm
this cute
screwing
puppy.
you. Yes, I'm screwing you at every turn, and I'm emboldening my business cronies, both foreign and domestic, at your expense. But here's my dog. And I said, I'm not doing this again with the dog. I'm not letting a dog shield anyone from criticism. So if Alfie's getting in the way, if Elliot screws up, sorry, Alfie, you're going to be collateral damage this time. So he sent me the picture with this dog, and I thought, okay, that's the dog. Okay, cool.
You thought that the picture that Daniel Elliott, state treasurer, sent you was Alfred, the State House dog.
That's right. And I was like, okay, fine. But then this lady, who is Alfie's parent, posted a photo with Alfie, and what did she say? She said something like, I'd love for you guys to meet Alfie or whatever.
Yeah, she just said, hey, thanks for the shout out. Would love to meet you. Talk to my mom. Daniel Elliott's a great guy, but my mom is the best.
Okay, so then
the dog is speaking in the post.
But the dog in the photo was not the dog in the picture that Daniel Elliott sent. I was like, I sent you a thing. I said,
That's
is
not the same dog.
Why are they trying to pull this on us? Like, this is clearly not the same dog. Which one is the dog? And now it just dawned on me, because I read the thing again, that is his dog. He's not saying that was the dog. And then now we know that is the dog. Okay,
right.
Very good. All right.
So Alfie,
I'm all good now.
Okay. Alfred is the State House dog. It's a golden doodle. It's a standard golden doodle.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's why when I saw the picture of Elliot with the dog, I said, that's not a golden doodle.
No, correct. But the State House dog is a golden doodle. And yes, we would love to meet Alfie.
Yes, that's fine.
I want to meet Alfie.
Yeah.
Okay? I want to get some love from the golden doodle.
So the dog, you're giving the dog permission to come into the radio station.
Yeah, is that okay?
No, I don't care. It's half your show.
You don't have any allergies to golden doodles, do you?
No, it's fine.
Didn't Holcomb get a new dog, by the way? Because Henry Holcomb passed away.
Yes.
Crossed the Rainbow Bridge.
Yes.
And then isn't the new dog named Ollie?
I don't know. I've
Something
forgotten
like
everything.
that?
I've forgotten as much as I possibly can about that guy.
Yeah.
And
I think they got another schnauzer.
Oh, well, whatever. Don't care.
I'm not there yet. You know, my Gracie dog passed away in January.
Yeah.
And I'm not ready for another puppy just yet.
You know, I
Can't do it.
hope Holcomb and his dog and whoever wants to go with him is sent to an island somewhere where he can't harm anybody else for the remainder of his days. That is my hope for Eric Holcomb, is that they send him and the dog, and if his wife wants to go with him, to some deserted island. You know, that's how they used to do it to people who harmed the state, Casey. They did that to Napoleon, sent him to an island, right? Maybe we can do that, where Holcomb can live out the remainder of his days, not being able to bask in the torture and horrible things he did to our state.
And he can take the dog with him. Isn't this something we're still talking about how awful he is?
Oh, I will never stop, Casey. Anytime it gets mentioned, it gets brought up, I will never stop, because we will never be able to undo the damage that guy did to the beautiful landscape of central Indiana, the damage he did to our beautiful pocketbooks. We will never get any of it back, Casey. It will never come back.
So you know who could be on a deserted island and would have no idea that they're actually there? I'm not even talking about Joe Biden this time. I'm talking about Mitch McConnell.
Yes.
So after stepping down from leadership, of course, he has since he has shifted his focus to increasing spending on U.S. defense. But he was back in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. He was talking with people, although he had to be told what to say. Listen to this.
Here in Kentucky, or talk to him about it being a bad policy at all?
My hearing is not what it used to be.
Tariffs, Senator. Your comment is about tariffs. Tariffs. Comment about tariffs.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a fan of tariffs. I hope it works.
So reporters are asking him questions. He's just standing there with a blank look on his face, has no idea what they're saying. His excuse is, my hearing is not so good.
In fairness, Casey.
Yeah.
I have used that many times with my wife. Kev, can you isolate? And then can we just get that? We will forever use that on this show. Can we just hear just the my hearing was not what it used to be? Because I have used this countless times when I wanted to avoid the discussion. Kev, can you play that again for us?
Tariffs. Comment about tariffs.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a fan of tariffs.
No. I need that. My hearing is not what it used to be at the very beginning. That's what I need. I need that isolated, because I'm going to use that. In fact, when I was a kid, I used to have one of those recorders. They were little recorders that you could talk into them and it would play the thing back. I need a recorder with that on it, so that anytime, like, it's been many days. The sign is still up of days complaint against me. The next time I get an inevitable complaint against me, when Dion comes to me, then I will be able to say,
my hearing is not what it used to be.
I love it.
Kev, you need to isolate that, because I'm going to start using that.
I can hear it in the show intro. It's Kendall Casey. My hearing is not what it used to be.
Why is he? Why?
Why what? Why is he doing press conferences?
Why is he a thing?
Why is he still a senator?
And think about this, until
2026, he's still going to be.
Yeah, but think about this, Casey. 3 months ago, he was still the leader for the Republicans in the Senate.
Right. Leader in air quotes.
Huh? The blessing! He's the real life. If we pulled the audio from Christmas Vacation of what's her Aunt Bethleen, Aunt whatever her name is, and her not being able to hear what anybody's saying, and Uncle Lewis finally shouts out, "The blessing!" That was the real
same thing. Okay, another piece of audio we have to play for you. You might be afraid of this one. He's coming for you.
Uh-oh.
This was during a conversation with Gavin Newsom. You know, Gavin Newsom has a podcast.
Let's talk about that. I want to talk about that podcast in a second, but go ahead.
Okay, so Tim Walz, who was Kamala Harris's VP pick.
Yes, he was her running mate.
They were talking about that Democrats need to appeal to men, right? And Walz suggested that he could rough up Trump supporters, WWE style.
This notion of fight it. This notion I think I could kick most of their ass. I do think if they want to. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
What is it with the left and violence? Remember at our rally the other day, the only people who remotely got out of hand was the two women in the red shirts that went out of their way to come over there and be nasty, and the one lady got arrested. What is it with the left wanting to fight people?
Yeah. Can you imagine, Tim? Isn't this the guy who was kicking when he was on stage and clapping like a seal and wants to put tampons in the boys' bathroom? This is the guy who's going to walk around and beat up Trump supporters.
Okay, so let's talk about the Newsom podcast.
Sure.
For a second. He's getting killed because he's had several. He had Kirk on, Charlie Kirk. I think he's having Bannon on. And so he started this podcast. He's clearly trying to position himself to run for president.
Sure, he's trying to appear more moderate.
And he's having these people on. And the left is up in arms over the fact that he had Republican people even having the conversation. They are beside themselves.
Like you can't even talk to them?
Well, it is interesting because there are people who are up in arms that Jim Merritt and Abdul are my panelists on State House Happenings. And I always look at that with amazement. Like, I cannot believe you would have these establishment people. Who cares? They're human beings. They have a right to an opinion. Abdul knows the State House. Merritt was there 30 years. Like, we are at a point now, and this is clearly on both sides of the aisle, because I get it on the right, and then I hear these people doing the same thing to Now, obviously, Newsom is doing it for political purposes. I'm not running for anything. But, like, we can't even have the conversation anymore.
Isn't that what you want, though? Don't you want open dialogue?
And this is why the country's becoming further and further divided, further and further polarized. Merritt and Abdul say things I disagree with all the time, and I push back on them. I'm an adult. Like, I can hear other opinions. I don't need an echo chamber. I'm a grown man. Like, I'm capable of hearing someone's opinion I may not agree with. Like, we have Merritt on this show. Merritt's a friend. Like, you can't be friends with people who aren't 100% ideologically aligned with you. You can't have them on your podcast if they're not 100%. Like, this is why we are further dividing. And this is the point where this is a big thing now for Gavin Newsom. He is getting serious pushback from crazy people who are mad that he allowed Charlie Kirk or Steve Bannon, who are major players, and that was what Newsom said. He's like, dude, or his people said, dude, Charlie Kirk has a gajillion followers. People are not going to not know that he exists if he's not on this podcast.
Well, it's the same thing as people keying Teslas or the violence against people who are driving a Tesla. Why are you openly rooting for the destruction of a top 10 American company?
People are, and then social media has been a big part of this, where people can either through their own identity or anonymous identities, they can just spew whatever, and they feel elevated, they feel emboldened, they feel empowered, they feel like they can do or say whatever, and then they're basically untouchable. It's sad, but that is what gives relevance to their incredibly irrelevant life, which they know what it is, right? They know these people, especially the ones who hide behind anonymous accounts or whatever, they know what their life is, and they know how pathetic their existence is. And the social media, because, I'm here, I'm in the same space as these other people. And so they're going to go after a guy like Gavin Newsom for simply having the audacity to try to have the conversation. They're not interested, these people, in better public policy. They're not interested in people coming together. They're not interested in the idea of ideas being bantied back and forth and then made the winner prevail. They just, if you even allow these people to exist in your orbit, you are dead to them. And Newsom's going to pay. Look at what Schumer's going through for voting for the budget.
Oh, we'll get to Schumer in a bit and his latest comment. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Life moves fast.
Another new directive from Donald Trump.
President Trump will not be deterred to make our federal government more efficient.
So does the news.
We expect those meetings to take place very soon.
Decisions made today.
Kash Patel confirmed as the next director of the FBI.
Could impact you tomorrow.
Accountability and transparency.
What's next?
You never know what's going to happen.
Need to know what happened.
We're already tracking it. Stay in the know while you're on the go on 93 WIBC.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down.
get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Hello, friends. Let's talk about Mark Dietel. Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There is a friendly, no pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate, Mark Dietel. Maybe you want guaranteed no hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity in order to do it. The good news, Mark Dietel, he guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Greg and Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietel. My tenant moved out of my investment property, and I was ready to sell. I heard about Mark on the radio, and everything they say is true. In 15 days on the market, I had a cash offer I wanted on the property. Selling with Mark Dietel was fast, easy, and profitable. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details. Or go online to markdietel.com. It's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
From a fast break to recovery, Indiana hospitals are here for every Hoosier, regardless of their ability to pay. That's why we're teaming up with legislators on a winning playbook to lower costs and protect access to care across our communities. Because good policy doesn't leave anyone on the sidelines. Learn more at HoosierLifeline.com.
Paid for by the Indiana Hospital Association.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
So the Democrat Party hit an all-time low in popularity. This, according to a new NBC News poll. 27% of registered voters expressed a positive view. That's only 27%. Just 7% of voters had a very positive view of the party. That marks the lowest ranking in NBC News polling since 1990.
What possibly could there be to have a positive opinion about with the Democrat Party? I mean, what have they done where you would say, ooh, society is in a really good spot because of the Democrat Party? Mm-hmm. And the problem the Democrats have is because they're beholden to a bunch of lunatics. They're not willing to go far enough to actually full-blown appease the crazy people because they know where most of society is. So those people are mad with them. Well, clearly this quote-unquote middle ground they've tried to find between an actual middle and the lunatics, which is still a left ground, didn't work for society. So they're really stuck between a rock and a hard place. You saw that with Schumer on The View the other day, where he was, I mean, I don't know what being interrogated by Jack Bauer would look like or feel like, but those women, they were cheerleading for him, and he couldn't get it right. I mean, they were asking him basic questions, and he sounded and looked completely miserable over the fact that he voted for this continuing resolution, which, by the way, is just Biden spending levels. It's not like there's any substantial cuts. The left is so out there, and they hate Trump so much that even voting to continue Biden era spending levels, now he's getting crushed for that.
Right. Well, he was flip-flopping, right? Because at first he was saying they were going to block it, and then he came around and said, no, we're going to do it. So which one is it? And then you mentioned he goes on The View and makes fun of people.
And you know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or, I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, the land and water that I own, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people. a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
He was going there for a minute.
Right?
Well, but it is. And this is the same thing we went through, whatever it's been now, 12, 13 years ago with Obama doing the you didn't build that. Those, and we can rip on Schumer all we want, but we're seeing it play out right here in this state. You are seeing the same thing. It's so easy to come here and go, that dirty, rotten, no good, awful Schumer socialist, yeah, you're right. But then say it about the people down the street from us, because they're doing the exact same thing with the property taxes. You saw the disdain from those people on Monday as they sat and watched us from the fourth floor perch. Who are these people? Nobody wear green today. I can't believe you 3 state reps would dare align with those people. This governor, we're going to show him. It's the same thing. They believe they're entitled to your stuff. They believe these local governments are entitled to whatever of your stuff that they want to take. So if we're going to rip on Schumer, apply it to the same people here. It's Rod Bray. It's Todd Houston. All of these people are having the same attitude that Chuck Schumer just expressed on The View. So if you're going to do it to him, do it to them.
Why do all government people feel entitled to your money? That is the question. And it goes not only to the elected officials, but the bureaucrats as well.
It's the society we've created. And so think about this. Why did that woman, that crazy woman, and her friend feel entitled at our rally? We weren't harming them. We weren't doing anything to them. Our people were being peaceful. We were getting ready to go. Why did they feel entitled? Once their instruments. So let's, for those of you who weren't there was a group of, I believe they were red-shirted teachers, right? They were, it was for something for IPS that they were there, and they were horribly playing loud music. Like they weren't trying to horribly play loud music. They were just horrible at trying to sound good. And that they thought, and they were doing this deliberately to try to disrupt our thing. We weren't engaging with them. We weren't having anything to do with them. They thought, well, we're going to play this music super loud. We're going to show up here unannounced, play this music super loud. State police were like, you can be here. You cannot disrupt the rally. Turn the instruments off.
Well, part of the problem is because for them to be there in the State House, just like us, you had to have a permit.
That's correct.
And the permit states exactly the time and place you're allowed to be.
That's correct.
Their time and place was over at 1 when ours was beginning, but they took it upon themselves to spread out into our time and place where they were not permitted to be.
Yeah, and the state police told them, they said, you can stand here.
Correct.
You cannot play this music and disrupt them. Everybody knows what you're trying to do. Well, once they couldn't disrupt, they had to find a new way to disrupt, because that's what that was about. They were trying to cause havoc. That's what the left does. Look at what 2020 was. Let's cause as much havoc as we possibly can. We'll lie to everybody and pretend like we give a damn about George Floyd, or that we care about George Floyd. We will utilize this thing to engage a bunch of paid protester maniac Antifa people, which was proven a whole bunch of those people, that's exactly what they were. And that's what happened at our rally. Once they couldn't disrupt us there, she came over to us and started getting lippy and getting mouthy and disrupting. And the state police said, ain't doing that. Not happening. And what happened after that? Then they largely disappeared and separated, right? Because they couldn't cause a disruption. That's what this is about. That's who the left is. It's not, if we don't get our way, if we don't get what we want, we're going to make your life hell, even though you're behaving yourself and minding your own damn business. But I have no sympathy for Schumer, because him and Maher and Pelosi, they knew what these people were. They're the Dr. Frankenstein, right? They created this monster when it was convenient for them, and now the monster's out of control, and now the monster's coming for them. Good. I hope you boil in your own pudding, because that's exactly what you deserve.
Boiled pudding sounds gross. Like burnt boiled pudding.
I think that was a phrase in Dickens' Christmas Carol. They should be boiled in their own pudding, right? That's an old-timey phrase, right?
We've got some voicemails coming up. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Save a Tree, man. We are in the middle of March, and that means great weather hopefully is right around the corner. And that means time to call Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. They can get your lawn looking great after some tough winter weather. The envy of the neighborhood. I called Save a Tree a couple of weeks ago. Sean from Save a Tree came out, gave me some great ideas on how to make my lawn look better. And hopefully here in just a little bit, Save a Tree is going to be coming out and putting those things into action. I think Save a Tree may end up being one of the best home upgrades I've ever made. Schedule your totally free estimate and evaluation from Save a Tree. Just go to saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. That's SAVATREE.com. Or if you just dial pound 250 on your smart device and use the keyword Save a Tree. Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Bring your entire yard back to life. Tell them Rob sent you.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Tornadoes are possible. Cloudy, you've got nothing on radar right now. 61 degrees in the Circle City and 65 is your high today. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Matt Eckhoff is a forecaster at the National Weather Service. He says western Indiana is most likely to see a tornado.
For central Indiana, it doesn't really look like the primary threat's going to be extending that far east. I do think the primary tornado threat is going to be near the Indiana-Illinois state line and points farther north and west.
Eckhoff says once the severe weather threat moves out, colder temperatures with rain and a wintry mix are possible for Thursday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he'll talk to President Trump about the next steps related to a ceasefire with Russia today. It includes Russia stopping attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure and prisoner swap today between the two countries. Zelensky says he's open to the agreement, but he says the U.S. will need to monitor the situation for it to work. The defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers beat the Chicago Cubs 6-3 to sweep the two-game Tokyo series. Shohei Ohtani hit his first home run of the season in today's win, which didn't shock his manager, Dave Roberts.
I know Shohei puts his pants on just like we all do, one leg at a time. But if there's ever a superhero, I think Shohei just seems like a superhero.
Japanese pitcher Roki Sasaki made his MLB debut for the Dodgers, striking out 3 in 3 innings. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Here's a real-life story that affects 50% of all of us out there. It's called divorce. If you've gotten divorced and now you're struggling to pay your bills and your credit card debts are completely out of control, you need to call this special debt relief hotline right now. We help people with all kinds of money problems caused by different life challenges, a divorce, a job loss, even heavy medical bills. All these life events can sometimes financially stress you out and cause you to get out of control. We help people get their lives back by showing them ways to consolidate and reduce their debt, in some cases for a fraction of what they owe. If your credit card balances are more than $10,000, call us and learn how to reduce your credit card bills and monthly payments now. Here's our number.
Paid for by Debt.com. Call now at 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. 800-810-1820. That's 800-810-1820.
One of the real advantages that we have here at Hendricks is the scope of the services that we have to offer in orthopedics.
Whether they have a hip fracture or they're a high-functioning athlete, we're all working towards the same thing.
To have them be able to have an elective surgery safely and then go home also in a safe fashion is of utmost importance.
We very much want everyone to get back to doing everything that they're doing beforehand. We're really invested in it.
Unstoppable orthopedic care. Learn more at hendricks.org/ortho.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
If you love spring and Indy but hate to paint, do what Lynn did. She called Rhino Shield.
It is a single-wide manufactured home. We moved from our home, which we had the Rhino Shield on. Rhino Shield was what we were going to do. That was no question. We knew we were going to do it.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating. It's not paint, it's better.
The Rhino Shield representative came and we discussed what we wanted done. This time, we had the roof done as well.
Visit Rhino Shield's booth at the Flower and Patio Show and learn about their 25-year transferable warranty protection. Plus, receive a free prize.
Even the people that have been a little younger than us have that. They don't have to worry about getting just an everyday painter because Rhino Shield has the 25-year warranty, and we truly believe in this product.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Emma and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
What are you laughing at?
Some people amaze me, Casey. Like our entertainment, I think you and I'm very guilty of this because of my modesty. We don't process how entertaining we actually are on this program. I think because we do so much good for humanity, like we fail to realize on top of how on it we are with our views and the way we view public policy and government. So many people listen because we are so ridiculously entertaining.
Is that it?
And the proof is always in the pudding when we get these people, whether it's YouTube chat or Twitter or whatever, who just hate us. Like they just, and these are people you hear from all the time, right? It's hate, hate, hate. And then they'll go, I just heard you say. And it's like, wait, you're admitting that you are listening.
You're hate listening
to some person who you just seethe. You sit there, that person makes you seethe, but you're admitting that we're so entertaining. You can't not listen. That's how good we are.
Some people choose cardio. Some people get their heart rate up in other ways.
It is just unbelievable to me, no matter how many, and I know it happens because I've been hearing it for years and years and years, that why you would subject yourself, why you would freely subject yourself to something that you just despise. Like, I don't...
Because they're going to catch ya.
Yeah. I don't sit around and listen to a Rosie O'Donnell's podcast.
Oh my gosh, no. Well, it's like the old Howard Stern thing from his movie Private Parts when we ask people, why do you listen? Because I want to hear what he's going to say next, but you hate him. I want to hear what he's going to say next.
Now, this guy, I'm going to read you this message. Now, this guy has tweeted multiple times at me about the show, and I use Newsweek as a fact checker guy.
Yeah.
He's got the little
the graph.
It looks like a thermometer thing, and it tilts. Everybody's seen them. And so we started our show talking about the rescue by Elon Musk of the astronauts. And we were making the point, we said, this is very concerning that some guy who owns a rocket company, who, while super rich, doesn't have near the wealth or access to capital or resources that the federal government does, and he can solve this problem, and NASA, the full weight and force of the federal government, cannot solve this problem. And at any point, did we hear Biden step up and go, "Hey man, I got a deal. We're gonna get these bills."
On this.
At any point, did you hear any? Now, I think
Biden thought he was up there with them.
Well, this is my point. At any point, did you hear Biden go, "We got a deal. Here's the deal. This is what's like." Was he putting any of this front and center, talking about any sort of deals that he had, or when the astronauts were coming home, or when this was going to happen? Was he talking about this?
No.
At any point?
No.
Okay. All right. So this guy posts this long thing from Newsweek about how this wasn't Trump and this was all in the works in December. What happened in November, Casey?
There was an election.
Yeah, and who won that election?
Donald Trump.
So even if this had been put in place in December, why did Biden wait so long? Biden doesn't even know how long he waited. It happened because Trump was the president, Musk was coming in, and by the way, December was 3 months ago.
Yeah.
By the way, 3 months ago, those people had to stay up there in outer space, just having a good old time, right? It's like a Caribbean cruise that they were on up in outer space.
Out.
But here is this
8-day mission.
Here is this tweet from this guy, and this guy has tweets at me all the time. It's always how much I suck or whatever. All right, are we ready?
Yeah.
Don't laugh, Casey. It's not funny. It's very serious. This guy is very upset.
Okay.
Just listen to you outright lie about Elon coming to the rescue and NASA being incompetent. Pause. Now, what I said was, right, I don't understand, and if somebody can specifically tell me how one of the, it has to be an either or, right? Why did Elon Musk have to do the thing? Why did SpaceX have to do the thing? Why did we have to have Elon Musk go up there to do the thing? Either, like what do we say? One of these two things has to be true, right? Either Biden knew about it and let him sit, or the federal government, despite all the money that we have thrown at them, some wacky billionaire guy, either we had the resources to do it and Biden didn't do it. That's option one. Or the federal government is so incompetent and so unable to solve problems that the wacky billionaire guy, who while super rich and has a lot of money, no doubt, is now better than the federal government. Like that was our statement, right? And I would still love to hear how one of these two things has to be true, because Biden certainly wasn't talking about it. It wasn't front and center. There was no, here's the game plan. Here's what we're doing. You haven't heard any pushback from the Fed saying, no, we had the ability to do this, and Musk has just overstepped. No, you haven't heard any of that. Okay.
Right.
All right, go ahead. There's much more.
No, there's a plan. No, I'm going to go.
What a scumbag move, Rob.
Oh.
You sold your soul for moderate fame. Pause. I am an Indianapolis radio broadcaster who, while number one, has never considered myself remotely famous. I don't have any, I don't have a motorcade that accompanies me anywhere. I pay a list price whenever I go to places. I do my own grocery shopping. I don't consider myself, but I appreciate that he thinks I have a moderate amount of fame. See, these people put myself, I'm not good enough to myself, Casey. These people put me, I should start being better to myself, because these people, the people who hate me, put me way ahead of where I put myself. Too modest. All right, ready? Sold your soul for a moderate fame among people who are gullible enough to believe you in central Indiana.
Okay.
And so my response.
He showed you.
So my response to him was, that's fine. Wait. You openly admit to listening to some guy you despise and say horrible things about. That's awesome. Thank you for acknowledging our entertainment level is so high, you can't not listen, even though you seed through almost the whole thing.
Yeah. Thanks.
What is wrong with these people? Why
just helps the bonus.
Why would you subject yourself to something that makes you, or someone that makes you, completely miserable?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't figure it out either. I would just turn it off.
I'm supposed to do an interview tomorrow about the influence that we're having related to the property tax rally. And I think it'll be a pretty cool little interview when the piece is done. And I'll tell everybody about it after it happens. And the interviewer said, hey, I want to kind of talk to you about the influence that you're having in terms of the elected officials, the governor, et cetera. And, my comment is going to be this. We're just radio guys, girls, guys. I don't mean to assume your gender, right?
Sure.
We don't have any power over anyone. But what we do is we bring the truth to the people, and we do it in a way that is so darn entertaining that the people are want to tune in and want to hear. And when they come for the entertainment, they stay for the meat and potatoes of the show, which is things we're passionate about. In this case, it's property tax reform. And in the case of the governor, he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy, and he sees where the people are. And he's going to go where he believes. I mean, they're politicians, right? They're politicians. Some are better than others, but they're politicians. They exist to get reelected. And so we don't have any power over anyone. We can't raise your taxes, lower your taxes. Everybody who comes to us comes willingly.
Yeah.
And they like what they hear because it's rooted in truth. It's grounded in
Free
truth,
will.
right? Yeah, absolutely.
Hammer's going to join us. Hey, we do have some phone calls. You want to do those next hour?
That's fine. I didn't mean that for take that long, but that always blows my mind, Casey, that people will just subject themselves, make themselves miserable when they can just turn the radio and we don't even exist.
Well, it's just like the Democrats we talk over and over again. They just like to be angry.
That's right. Yes.
And you're making
Hammer's never
them
angry.
No, never. He's going to join us next on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 3:06 this afternoon. We could have some severe thunderstorms in the afternoon. We're keeping an eye on that and more Hammer and Nigel Records Madness, 93 WIBC.
Well, if you stayed through that last segment, I assume you're one of our fans. And whether you're listening because you love us or you're listening because you hate us, it's my privilege to tell you about Life Church. You know, we love Life Church. It's had such a great impact on my life and my family's life. And one of the things we love about Life Church is it's a sense of community when you're there. Everybody looks out for each other. They care about you. They love you, and they want the best for you. And it's had, like I said, just such a great impact on our lives, and have seen such a difference. And many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church over the years. We meet them all the time. You can see it for yourself. If you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home or just something different, you got nothing to lose. You got everything to gain. 4 campuses across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Great online services. Learn more about it all, lifechurchin.com.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
Big Joe here. You've heard me talk about Absolute Comfort and the Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits for years. This energy-efficient way to heat and cool your home is a game changer. These systems are smart and can detect when someone is in the room and adjust to your activity. Visit Absolute Comfort at the Flower and Patio Show, booth 382 in the West Pavilion across from the beer garden. Ask for Jeremy or Chris to answer all your questions. Absolute Comfort, your trusted American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Looking for a great deal on a new Lincoln? Come to Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, now $15,000 off, and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. We look forward to seeing you at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 57,785. Offers good through March 31st, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Listen to Hammer and Nigel this week for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Outlaw Music Festival with Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, Sheryl Crow, Madeline Edwards, and Waxahachie, Thursday, September 18th at Ruop Music Center.
North Carolina won last night, huh? Is that what you're telling me?
Good teams win, great teams cover. They did both last night, Casey.
Got screwed in that first game, though.
I was a Christian Laettner Hail Mary away from running the table last night. By the way, I'm Jason Hammer. Thank you for having me. And so the two play-in games, the first of the play-in games were last night. There's two more tonight. And in the first game was a couple degenerate teams, 16 seeds, fighting for the right to see who's going to get their doors blown off by Auburn.
Yeah.
And it was a great game. I was on the over, betting-wise on that. I think it was like 138.5. And it was trending over the entire game. Things kind of slowed down in the second half, but it looked like we were going to overtime. And if it goes into overtime, I just need 2 baskets, and I cash the ticket. But one team takes the ball out underneath the basket, throws the long Grant Hill-style pass like Christian Laettner caught back in the 90s. Ball was tipped up in the air, caught by another player, laid up, ball game. So one team wins by 2. I missed the over by 1.5 points. Had that gone into OT, toes are tapping.
Here's the thing, though. I did not bet on that game. I did bet on the other game because I was not watching that Goober game. Sorry. I was just not going to do it. But I did bet on the North Carolina game, and you hit that with them giving 4.5 against San Diego State. That team stinks.
I bet much larger on the North Carolina game than I did the degenerate game. So he came out ahead last night. But, yeah, it seems like that's always the case. The team that everybody says, you don't deserve to be here, usually is good for a win, maybe 2 in the NCAA tournament.
That's right. So, and as heard on the Degenerates Next Door Sports Betting Podcast, which is now available, NCAA tournament show. I did it again. I forgot where Steve Alford coached. That was kind of embarrassing.
You do this all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And what's great about our podcast that's out right now, if you haven't watched a single game of college basketball this year, that's okay. Rob probably hasn't either. But we've got something for everybody here. If you're trying to win your office bracket pool, just to pick the winners and move on, we give you our picks. We have 2 professional handicappers that we use. They give their picks. But also, we give you individual game picks. Some of the point spreads and stuff that I like the best. We lay a lot of that out there. Guys like me, we've got action in both. I got a bracket pool that I'm in. I got a lot of individual bets. I love March Madness. To me, March Madness, these first 2 days, and I don't count the play-in days. I'm talking about Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Honestly, for me, it's bigger than Super Bowl. Super Bowl is a much bigger deal nationwide. It's the single most watched televised event. I get all that. But if you're a gambling degenerate and a sports fan,
it's all day.
All day for 2 days.
Yeah.
That's why I got my vasectomy a couple years ago on the first day of March Madness, so I could sit down on the couch, put the peas on my bag, and just watch ball.
Okay, so you and I had this conversation on the Degenerates Next Door Sports Betting Podcast. You got the snipperino.
Yes.
And I asked you if you felt empty because now your things don't do the thing that they're designed to do.
No, I'm done having kids, and now I don't have to wear protection. It's the best thing in the world. Like, are you serious?
Well, I was asking. I was like, you always get offended when I ask you.
I don't really want to have unprotected sex because I feel empty inside. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I just was asking.
And it's coming from you.
I can't even have a conversation with you. I try to have like a friendly conversation. You turn it into World War III.
Well, no, you say the stupidest things, then get offended when someone says that they're stupid. But it's got a par for the course for a guy that's botched the Steve Alford conversation 2 or 3 times now.
Well, I did that during football season where I bet on New Mexico because I said, well, Steve Alford is the coach there. And then Hammer lets the show finish. And then at the end goes, hey, Steve Alford coaches in Nevada, not New Mexico.
Nice.
And I missed that bet. And then I did it again because I get them confused because they're right next to each other. And so I thought it was that. And I so picking the bracket. And I said, well, how could I not pick New Mexico? Steve Alford's the coach there.
And he says again.
Yeah, It's not the coach there.
I mean,
so Nevada didn't make the tournament this year.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I can't weigh in.
You
on
watch
this
New Mexico win. You watch New Mexico win, and I'm going to go, ha!
They didn't win before. You botched it, and I don't think they're going to do it again.
I'm going to beat you in this bracket challenge, even though, other than IU, I didn't watch a lot of college basketball this year. But I'm going to beat you.
Says the host of a sports betting show.
Well, but I'm a golf and football guy, okay? I don't lie to people. I don't deceive. You need a golf bet, I'm your guy. Maybe sometimes. Football, I did okay, but I did the... Look, you know where I'm at with the college kids. The NIL stuff really bothers me, and I love football so much that I will deal with it with football, but it's just hard to see the center guy from IU who stinks making $1.5 million. I can't invest in that.
You have to be a program that, okay, you're going to have to pay these kids. That's just the nature of the beast right now. But you've got to find the right kid, right? You don't see the kids from Duke or, places like that acting like knuckleheads at bars or going out the night before games. They still win, even though they're getting paid a lot of money. IU gave money to the wrong type of kids, right? Dudes that were going out. And again, stories that I hear firsthand from my son who's got friends that go to IU and he's gone down and visited them and stays the weekend. These guys were just a-holes, flaunting their money to everybody. And why? They didn't win anything.
Yeah, I need rich friends. You're out. Casey?
I'm not rich either. But according to a lot of people, IU now has the right coach.
So we're going to talk about that this afternoon. We're going to get John Herrick in here. We're going to put his IU Radio Network hat on. We're going to find out about this coach. I guess his son is a baller that's coming to IU. So we'll talk about that and weather watching this afternoon.
All right. Thank you, Jason Hammer, from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show. You are listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
My whole identity had been wrapped up in being a soldier. To have that so violently ripped from me when I was wounded, I was lost for a very long time. When Wounded Warrior Project came into my life, being around the other warriors, people that had similar experiences that I did, it was a game changer for me. Having King join the group, that was the beginning of a really good friendship. It's a good time.
I first heard about Wounded Warrior Project through CQ. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I qualify. But having been a part of it, it's kind of taught me that it's not just the wounds that you can see, but it's those that you can't.
When you do something like a peer support group with Wounded Warrior Project and come together from different walks of life, man, the growth is incredible. If not for Wounded Warrior Project, I really don't think that I'd be here today.
See how we help warriors combat stigma at woundedwarriorproject.org/combat stigma.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market. Even in winter, we're bringing you the best in farm fresh flavors. Stop in for our fresh salad bar, hot and crispy wing bar, and a cheese selection that is second to none. Got a sweet tooth? Our homemade pies, creamy fudge, and old-fashioned candy will hit the spot. Come see us on US 31 just north of Carmel. We're open every day 9 to 6. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about fresh, local, and delicious. See you soon.
Matt Bear here. Those heavy spring rains are right around the corner. Make sure you're ready for them with a free roof inspection from my friends at Cochran Exteriors. Notice a musty smell inside your attic, shingles curling, or have a leaky problem area? It's time to get it done. Call Cochran Exteriors for a free, no obligation consultation with options to meet your budget with a lifetime workmanship warranty. Get scheduled now before the spring brush. Visit CochranExteriors.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Thanks. I gotta warn you, I drive a hard bargain. Okay. So let's hear your first offer. Well, how about with any 4-tire purchase, we'll give you a free alignment. Man, I'm good. All right, let's do it before you change your mind. And we'll also give you a free oil change. Ha! I can't believe I talked you into this deal. Sometimes I amaze even myself.
Don't tell accounting. But with any 4-tire purchase at Tire Discounters, you get a free alignment and a free full synthetic oil change. See store for details.
I'm a grandson, a son. I'm an employee and a mentor. I'm a father to 2 beautiful kids and a husband to an amazing wife. And I have a substance use disorder. In other words, I'm living in recovery with an addiction. And now that you know, will you let it change how you see me? It's okay to see my addiction, but I want you to know it's people choosing to see me as a person that changed my life.
See the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors. For 1951 cabinetry, visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or drexelin.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what you can expect from today's weather, when you will hear from the new Indiana University men's basketball coach, and if you like Italian food, then you might like this place. All that and more after Fox News on 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, it's 11 o'clock.
Working the phones. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump's been speaking this morning with Ukraine's President Zelensky about his call yesterday with Russia's President Putin about a ceasefire proposal.
A ceasefire without going a little bit further would have been tough. Russia has the advantage.
President with Fox's Laura Ingraham. What was agreed to was a pause on attacks on Ukraine's energy infrastructure if Ukraine stops hitting Russian oil and gas facilities, but those attacks are reported to have continued overnight. Both sides today do confirm a swap of 175 prisoners of war each. There's a noon deadline again today, Eastern Time, from a judge demanding more detailed information about deportation flights that he had ordered to be stopped or turned around.
President Trump shared a few thoughts about this Obama-appointed judge last night, posting on Truth Social after midnight. Quote, if a president doesn't have the right to throw murderers and other criminals out of our country because of a radical left lunatic judge wants to assume the role of president, then our country is in very big trouble and destined to fail.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson in D.C. Trump administration is blocked from taking back some climate research funding.
D.C. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan is preventing, at least temporarily, the EPA from canceling about $14 billion in grants awarded to 3 climate groups by the Biden administration. In her ruling, the judge says the Trump administration's assertions of fraud are vague, unsubstantiated, and insufficient. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin froze those grants, accusing the recipients of mismanagement and self-dealing. Chutkan's ruling was the 3rd court case to go against the Trump administration this week, following separate rulings blocking a military transgender ban and further DOGE cuts to USAID. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
More than 63,000 pages in all of JFK assassination files made public last night, ordered by President Trump. None of it seemed to suggest anything other than the government's conclusion that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in 1963. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
All the threats to watch out for. Partly cloudy and 61 in the Circle City with nothing on radar right now. I'm Sean Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Severe weather possible tonight. Ryan Hedrick explains what comes next after the storm.
A cold front will bring changes that will feel more like winter than spring.
Our winds die down a little bit and then switch to northwesterly overnight. And then by tomorrow morning, those northwesterly winds are going to bring in much colder air. And actually, the rain could mix with snow at times tomorrow.
Matt Eckhoff is a forecaster at the National Weather Service. He says by this weekend, we'll be back in the 50s. Ryan Hedrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
Many places across Indiana now under a high wind advisory. Darian DeVries is in Bloomington. He's the new Indiana University men's basketball coach, and he's supposed to speak at 11:30. DeVries comes to Indiana after coaching at both West Virginia and Drake. He has a winning percentage of better than 70%. Also expected to be at the press conference this morning is Indiana University Athletic Director Scott Dolson and IU President Pam Whitten. A church on the near west side of Indianapolis vandalized Tuesday. This woman reacts after seeing the vandalism.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Spray paint covering the exterior walls and sidewalks around Friendship Missionary Baptist Church, with much of the graffiti featuring explicit language or messages. Fatal drug overdoses in Indianapolis have nearly been cut in half, says DEA Assistant Special Agent in Charge Michael Gannon.
What we did is we got together and formed a partnership with the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department,
the coroner's office, and the Marion County prosecutor's office, and we try to figure out best practices.
That's Gannon telling Newsmax that Indianapolis police recently arrested a person who's linked to 4 overdoses. Piata Italian Street Food has opened a new location in Avon with a grand opening that happened there this morning. The restaurant's executives say they will donate half of their opening day sales to Avon High School. I'm John Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. It's 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, March 19th. It is 5 minutes after 11. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And just like some senators who consider that as their side hustle, 5% of Americans also hold a second job. That's approximately 8.9 million Americans who are working multiple jobs. That's the highest rate since the Great Recession of April in 2009.
I'm actually surprised that number's not, excuse me, I'm actually surprised it's not higher.
Yeah, that did seem a little bit low to me as well. It is actually lower than last year. Last year was about 39% of people had a second job, with adults 36%. So
yeah, it comes and it goes. So like, excuse me,
with side hustles.
Well, like I had a second job at the golf course, and I did that until my daughter turned 1, and then it became a thing where she's growing up. It's harder to take care of a baby the bigger they get, right? They are now able to move. They are able to walk. They're able to run. They're able to communicate. Can't just put them in a bouncer and go, hey, this will be a next fun 6 hours, right? So we made the decision. The money I was making there, while it was nice and I really liked working there, it wasn't worth, now that my daughter is able to do certain things, that it's more important for me to be there to help with that, because you're going to start missing things if you're not there. So it became not worth it. But I am surprised with inflation. And we have 2 adults that obviously work in my house, and we do, knock on wood, both of us do pretty well individually. We're very blessed. But I am surprised, given inflation, that there are not more than 5% of the populace working a second job.
So experts are suggesting that it's the high cost of maintaining a traditional lifestyle. House, transportation, these are the reasons that people take on a second job. But I read an article recently that said, you mentioned childcare, that the cost of childcare now is more expensive than college tuition.
Not surprised, depending on where you send your kid. Now, childcare costs are all over the map, and I'm not going to get into like specific numbers, but Drake and I, our super listener Drake, and I were having a conversation about childcare, and he was telling me estimates that he was getting for childcare versus what we are paying for childcare, and I was like, these are not close. There must be. Now, I think he was doing looking at some sort of actual school type of environment, whereas ours is in, in-house child care. So it obviously depends on where you go. But man, I'll tell you what, it's worth every penny if you have somebody who's good. But it is not cheap to watch your kid anymore.
Nope,
it's no more like pay your Aunt Susie $50 a week and she'll take care of it. It doesn't work that way anymore.
So what was the number? You and I were talking about this, the average amount, the salary that you need to have to live comfortably.
Now, this was last year, so I don't know if this has gone up or not. But a company called Smart Asset did a study that was released last year, and it had the number in every single state of what you needed to live comfortably. You want to take a guess?
Oh, they broke it down. Do they have Indiana?
They did. They had that would be every single state. So comfortable is defined as the monthly income needed to cover a 50-30-20 budget, which allocates 50% of your earnings for necessities like housing and utility costs, 30% for discretionary, and 20% for savings or investments. Indiana was, you want to take a guess what Indiana's was?
For comfortably, $68,000.
You are low.
Oh.
Low. Now,
Really
this is an individual, by the way, not
72.
not a family. No, you're still low.
80?
Still low.
Are you kidding?
Nope.
90.
Nope.
100.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. You were high at 90. 85,000.
85,000 is what it takes to live
Now
comfortably.
that may have gone up a little bit.
In Indiana.
This was last year's study. I think it actually may have gone up because there's a new, because like the national median last year
wasn't it 94,000?
Well, it was 461 was what it was last year. But then I saw a new report. I think there may have been an updated study on this that had it at 94,000. But the point is, like, that is ridiculous that it costs that much in order to, like, not worry about things.
Well,
like,
I mean, the phrase "to live comfortably," that's subjective, right? You can interpret that. But does that work in a negotiation? You go into your boss, I'm not comfortable. I'm not living comfortably right now. Help me out.
And the Smart Asset website is actually pretty neat. They have a calculator where you can calculate the cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
So the cost of living you can compare New York to Indiana.
Yeah.
So, like for Indiana, the cost difference is in New York is at least 12% higher. So, here's a graph. I'm sorry, 36% higher. You need $59,133. So in New York, you need $59,133 to have the same standard of living that $43,369 would give you in Indiana.
Yeah.
That's staggering. That is staggering how much more expensive it is. So like when you hear people talk about salary and what they're making, it all depends on where they're making it at.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just it is unbelievable how and in a remote, it is interesting too, in a remote world, now if your salary, if you can keep an elevated salary and you can work remotely and you can pick your spot, you can create a much better existence for yourself.
Pick a spot that does not have an income tax.
Yeah.
And you'll get a raise there. So the Trump administration, they released thousands of classified files on the JFK assassination, made them public for the first time. Over 2,000 files were released, totals more than 63,000 pages. Did you stay up all night reading all of them?
No, I didn't, because I bet it didn't tell us anything.
Mm-hmm.
There's no smoking gun.
Mm-hmm.
There is no guy on the grassy knoll was Harold. The only people want to believe, I've thought this for years about the Kennedy assassination. Vincent Bugliosi, who was the prosecutor in the Manson trial, wrote a long, voluminous book, like 1,500 pages or more, in the mid-2000s about the Kennedy assassination and offered irrefutable evidence in a voluminous structure that Oswald did it alone. And I read a lot of it, and it was a really, really neat book. Now, there are some things I didn't necessarily agree with. Obviously, anytime you're going to read that sort of, level of information, there's going to be some things and conclusions that get drawn because of that and whatever. But the only person that's ever been proven to have been a part of it was Oswald. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been Woody Harrelson's dad. It could have been. The only person who definitively was there was Lee Harvey Oswald, right? And you read this book and you're like, man, and I heard this years ago, so much of what happens in conspiracy theories, one, it's immense distrust by the government because the government has proven itself to be untrustworthy. But you want to believe that someone as irrelevant as Lee Harvey Oswald could not have had such a profound impact on not just our country, but the world. Oswald was a loner. He was a loser. He was a zero. He was a rotten dude. And yet he was able to elevate himself to the level of someone who in that moment represented not only the forward progress of America, but the optimism of the future of America of John Kennedy. And in our minds, we say, that can't have been.
It couldn't have all come down because of this one loser.
Now, I've not read all the pages. I have scoured the internet, and you darn betcha if there was something that shows so-and-so did it or whatever. And look, you can create whatever narrative you want to create on documents because you have all these shady people that were in and around the president, the presidency, obviously there were ties to the mob, all of these things. And yeah, a bunch of people wanted Kennedy dead, but wanting somebody dead, and by the way, I'm not, everybody would say, the Oliver Stone movie, that was complete garbage, right? Okay, they took all sorts of liberties with what actually happened at that trial and those events and all of those things, and it's a fun movie to watch, but people they want to believe, and rightfully so, that the government is operating against them in all cases, and in many cases they are, but the only guy that's ever been proven to have been a part of it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
So Trump emphasized that the American public and the families of those assassinated deserve full disclosure, stating everything will be revealed. I read a couple of the pages. I clearly did not scan all 63,000 pages. But the one takeaway that I had is that you get an inside peek into the operations of the CIA and their different notes. And I'm sure, in part, that's what they wanted to keep hidden. They don't want people to know how they operate.
Sure, right. But again, it's like, then tell me who the people were. Who were the people? If we have 80,000 pages that just got released, how many hundreds of, was that right? Was that 80,000?
Well, yeah, and you're right, because they kept saying that they didn't want to release them because some of the people were still living.
Who?
Right.
They're 9 million years old. What are we? How many people are still living that were a part of that? What that was 63 years ago. So a 30-year-old adult, which most of these people were much older than 30 years old, but a 30-year-old adult at the time, which you would think most people would be to elevate themselves up in the government to be involved at some sort of high level, would be 93 years old now. What are you protecting them from?
Right.
And if they were involved in the killing of the president, who cares? If they were involved in the killing of the president, who cares? Who are these people? Who were these people? You can't keep a secret. If there's 3 people in a room, you can't keep a secret. And yet we're led to believe for 63 years, there was this conspiracy to kill the president, and they pulled it off. Do you know how many people that would take to do that and for it not to be revealed for all these years? Get out of here.
You're listening to Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Another update is just minutes away.
President Trump is planning to talk to Russia's leader.
Narrow the gaps between Ukraine and Russia.
Hear the news.
El Salvador, 2 plane loads of deported illegal immigrants. Federal judge tried to block that.
As events happen.
7 tornadoes touched down across Indiana.
We'll happen to be there.
Down trees and power lines.
EF2 tornadoes.
On the level.
Trump tariffs cause Hoosier farmers some pain.
On the go.
An opportunity for fair trade.
On air and online. 93 WIBC Mobile News.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Big Joe here. You've heard me talk about absolute comfort and the Mitsubishi electric ductless mini splits for years. This energy-efficient way to heat and cool your home is a game changer. These systems are smart and can detect when someone is in the room and adjust to your activity. Visit Absolute Comfort at the Flower and Patio Show, booth 382 in the West Pavilion across from the beer garden. Ask for Jeremy or Chris to answer all your questions. Absolute Comfort, your trusted American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fire? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MBB tickets. Class dismissed.
It's dent season, the time of year Mother Nature decides to take out her aggression on your vehicle. Don't paint your car, go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. When Mother Nature throws a tantrum and messes up the look of your vehicle, don't paint your car, go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Go where the pros go. Drexel Interiors for 1951 cabinetry. Visit Drexel's Kitchen and Bath Design Centers at 146th and River Road, North Shadeland, or DrexelIN.com.
Look who it is.
I know, we're going to get to voicemails in just a minute, but we've got to talk to Brad Kloppenstein first.
So that's what you're known as now. Did you know that?
We changed your name. It's legal.
When I was at the Chamber Day luncheon last week, two people at my table who didn't know me as Brad Kloppenstein, but as soon as they're like, Kloppenstein, I'm like, yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Are you still boiling your water? How's it going?
Actually, I've still got a pot of boiled water, but we don't have to boil it anymore. Now,
did Lawrence screw up?
They had a main break. I mean, it happens, and it was at the pumping plant.
I mean, they've screwed up a lot. I mean, in this instance, did they screw up the water?
It was not a. They didn't screw it up intentionally or negligently. It just happens.
Yeah.
They probably could have done a little bit better job of communicating with people, letting them know what was happening.
So, true story. So, Terry Stacy, the fabulous First Lady of WIBC, you're going to appear on her first day program. Is that right? Yeah,
I am.
So, you're here to tape an interview with that. And she comes in, and she is just the sweetest person. And she goes, so I'm interviewing Brad Klopfenstein. And she goes, what do I call him? Is it Klopfenstein or Klopfenstein? I said, it's Klopfenstein. She goes, I can't call him that. I said, but that's his name.
Yeah,
that's
everybody else does now on the station.
I said, I think it's Klopfenstein, but he's going to be deeply offended if you call him Klopfenstein.
Nobody's going to know who I am.
Don't mess it up.
Okay, so we asked you, like, what are you doing? And you said you dropped off a check to someone for a liquor permit.
I do. I assist people with liquor license transfers and then
sounds like a mafia
acquisition.
No,
it's just, I mean, it's like selling property. But yeah, I've got a client up.
So you're like a realtor for booze licenses.
A little bit. I haven't done a lot in the past. I'm getting into it a little bit more lately for some reason.
And you said I was floored how much the amount of the check was.
Actually, this was the cheapest that a Carmel license has gone for in the recorded past.
How much?
So this license is transferring for $50,000. They have gone for upwards of 100 or more.
Okay, so let's explain to people what we're talking about here, because the state has to have their grubby hands and everything and make money off of everything. Liquor licenses are handed out by the state. They're almost like radio frequencies in the sense of they decide every so often we're going to open up potentially more of these. And if you're not willing to wait for when the new ones open up, which is an auction bid, right?
Correct.
And they're done by area, you have to buy someone else's liquor license. Is that correct?
You have to find an existing license and convince them to sell it to you, or sometimes it's not in use and it's an escrow. But yeah, you have to acquire one that already pre-exists.
This was
a pre-existing license. So this license had actually been sold at auction. But it was sold at auction right before the pandemic, and then business changed, and it never actually went into use.
You can just hold the license, though.
So you got 5 years to do something with it. Yeah. So you have to show that you're making progress to putting it into use.
It's just like owning a radio station.
It is. It's no different.
Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do as someone who has
the license
owned a radio station.
Permission to operate.
Transmitter. Yes. I erected a Well, I didn't personally erect a transmitter. I paid someone to do it. But yes, you have a window.
Why does it go to auction?
So at the auction, so either if somebody is delinquent on taxes, can't get it renewed, they give it up. Or,
just like your house with property taxes.
Yes.
That's right, yes.
Or, and this is, Westfield is seeing this now, so you might have heard that Scott Willis was going to do a special census, and DOJ and them cutting all the federal government, there's no census workers now. Oftentimes, the municipality will do a special census because it will show that they've had an increase in population, which will then create more liquor licenses based on that population. And so now Westfield is
$2 million. Yeah, no money for the police or fire. I'm not saying Willis said this, but that's the insinuation. Westfield has $2 million laying around to do that
for a possible census.
How's the booze industry doing? How are we doing? Are we getting killed by the tariffs? I'm very nervous
on the tariff stuff. I think it will be good for craft distillers locally just because they're not touched by it.
That's right.
But if you're a Brown Foreman that owns like Jack Daniels, they are in trouble because they're getting tariffed by foreign nations. Some of it is just perspective. So like in Canada, they're taking a lot of U.S. liquor and U.S. booze off the shelves as a form of protest. So not only is there a higher tariff and a higher price, there's just some places that aren't selling it. So, but on the other hand, Scotch coming in is going to be real expensive.
Okay, so should I buy now? Is that what you're telling me?
I would buy now. So I know that there are some distillers that are trying to stock up before the tariffs go into effect, or did stock up a little bit. There's others that just can't afford to do that. Obviously, tequila is going to be affected because all that comes from Mexico.
Hammer and Nigel tequila could be in danger.
Not tequila.
No. Tequila.
Well, that's here though. That wouldn't be affected by the tariff. Hiatus is here, right?
Well, no, they get it out of Mexico.
Oh no,
so
that's
all
right.
their product, everything,
the
everything tequila comes from Mexico.
So they're not doing it here.
No. So in fact, I even talked to the hiatus guy, and I'm like, "How are you guys doing this? Are you stockpiling?" He goes, "We can't afford to stockpile." So, so he said, probably our prices are going to go up 50%. We'll probably eat 25 and pass 25 on to the consumer.
It's going to cut into profit margins, huh? So what do you recommend people buy if they want to stock up?
American whiskeys. Crown Royal is going to be affected because it's Canadian.
Yeah.
So
I better get to Costco. I'm going to feel really weird, though, buying like a large pallet of alcohol because they're giant jugs at the Costco. You can't just buy a little thing. Somebody's going to think I have a serious drinking problem.
Come on, Rob. You'll go through it.
It'll be fine.
It might last you
Rob didn't get any meat or anything for the apocalypse. He got plenty of alcohol.
He's got lots of booze.
Hey, you're a guy who is a great historian of central Indiana and the greater Indianapolis area. You were around for the property tax protests in 07 and 08.
Yes.
You were here for that. Are you proud of us?
I'm very proud of you guys. Over 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Or other media outlets, tens of people showed up. So depending on who you ask.
Smattering.
Although I've seen the pictures, I'm going more towards 1,000 because I saw people going up both sets of stairs, up on the fourth floor, looking over. The whole third floor was covered.
Well, those were the lawmakers that were trying to peek in.
Well, they said, and I love the people that are like they're trying these ridiculously low numbers. But our point was, okay, let's say it was 800. What difference does it? What difference does it make whether it was 1,000 or 1,100 or 800?
What's the rule of thumb for every letter they get? They figure there's 1,000 people that also feel the same way. So, yes, there's a lot of people that are very tuned into this, and whether or not they want to deal with it, or maybe they're just stumped.
Well,
it sounds like that in a dream. You came up with a solution.
I did, and we're going to do the video for it tomorrow. We're going to tape. I'm going to read from a cryon, and then Casey's going to do all the actual work.
Yeah.
I'm such a prima donna, Brad, that I told Casey, I was like, I wrote this thing, and I said, I need this on a cryon. I cannot do it without the thing scrolling in front of me because I'm not going to take the time to memorize
everything. Everything else you do is off the cuff. How can you not do this off the cuff?
You know what I'm going to do to you? I'm going to put in there full stop.
Is this going to be like an anchorman? He reads everything that's on the teleprompter.
Everything.
Brad, you're the best.
You stay
Thank
classy.
you. And by the way, I like your Maryland tumbler you got there, Casey.
Oh, thank you. I got that the last time I was visiting my kid in Baltimore.
Snazzy.
Yeah.
You're the best, Brad.
See you.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
You love spring in Indy, so don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Visit Rhino Shield's booth at the Flower and Patio Show and learn about their 25-year transferable warranty protection. Plus, receive a free prize.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today. Today.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
There could be tornadoes. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Those are likely in some spots of Indiana with severe weather moving in today. Matt Eckhoff, a National Weather Service forecaster, explains what's changed in the last 24 hours.
The threat for tornadoes increased since yesterday due to a few factors, such as the wind direction is a little bit different compared to yesterday, since it's now looking like the storm system itself is a bit further south.
Most of the state is now under a wind advisory, and severe weather is expected later tonight. 7 men arrested in Indianapolis on drug and gun charges Tuesday. Police say the investigation into the men had been going on for several months. And the new Indiana University men's basketball coach, Darian DeVries, is in Bloomington. He has an introductory press conference that's going on now. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
My brother never checks on Dad, or my sister won't make time to take Mom to the doctor. Are these things you've heard yourself say? This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I have a caregiving tip for you. Stay tuned.
Cardon and Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Expressing anger or resentment toward unsupportive siblings can cause unmendable rifts in relationships. Don't try to control everyone else. You can only control yourself. The success of your caregiving journey does not rest on others. So enjoy the time with your loved one. This is your special time with them. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joyce House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
All right, let's get through some voicemails. This first one, Rob, is for you.
Oh.
Somebody wants to make a trade with you.
Uh-oh.
I mean, you're right, man. I mean, how do these people get into government? No wonder we are so screwed up in this country, because we have got the worst of the worst running our country. But keep up the good work. Oh, and by the way, I won some Cyndi Lauper tickets from Hammer and Nigel, but I would be willing to trade you if you already haven't gotten your hands on a pair of Cyndi Lauper tickets from Hammer and Nigel, which you probably did. But if not, I'm willing to trade you for some Dwight Yoakam.
So
what?
You have to go get Dwight Yoakam tickets, and he'll give you his Cyndi Lauper tickets.
Why wouldn't I just buy the Cyndi Lauper tickets? The premise was like our audience does something nice for me, like not me buying them. If I was going to buy them, I would just buy them.
I don't know what the price point is for the Dwight Yoakam tickets.
Who is?
He's a country singer.
Yeah, I know who that. I was.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Indiana, is he even coming here, or is he just making this up?
I'm seeing tickets for Dwight Yoakam at like $32.
This is StubHub, right? Is this StubHub? Is that where you're seeing it, Kevin?
I'm seeing it on, well, it's on Vivid Seats.
Okay. All right. Price. I need. Does he need a ticket?
Well, I think he's got a pair, so that's fair.
He needs a pair. So what are they, Kev? This is Indianapolis.
Yeah, I'm seeing on Vivid Seats it goes as low as $32.
Okay, where is he playing at in Indianapolis?
And this is at Everwise Amphitheater at White River State Park.
Very good. All right, so $32, that would be $64 in. What's the price of the Cyndi Lauper ticket? I bet the Cyndi Lauper ticket is.
I think they're more than that, aren't they?
No way, because it's at Ruoff. That's a bigger venue. Although remember that you got to pay to park now to go there.
That's what I'm saying. Cyndi Lauper's more.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Because I could park here with the Dwight Yoakam. I could just walk to the amphitheater. I did that for the Judas
Priest. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this probably isn't actually that great of a deal because you can get Cyndi Lauper as low as $29.
I told you.
Oh, boy.
So he's trying to.
No deal.
And
no deal.
And coming from that dude, not surprised.
Yeah.
Because that's that guy that's been calls all the time.
He's the always Trumper from Fishers.
Always Trumper guy. Yeah. No dice, buddy.
Okay.
And then, by the way, the premise of the thing was you, the audience, do something nice for me. That was the premise.
Okay. No trade. Okay, here's another phone call. And
you think we were going to look that up?
No, he thought you were just going to fall for that, didn't he? Here's another phone call. This one is about what your next advocacy should be about.
Hey, Rob and Casey. Kudos on the big rally. This is Trucker Tony, by the way. That was awesome. I got to watch some of it live. While I'm on the road, I kind of glanced at the phone here and there when I could. Good job on that. So once this is done and we get this property tax issue taken care of, let's do the state sign, the sign that says "Welcome to Indiana." Let's do something with that. Because if you know the song by Led Zeppelin, "Whole Lot of Love," that's what I look at. When I see the sign, that's all I hear is one speaker playing that song. It's crazy. It's confusing. So that's your next task.
So Andrew Ireland has been pushing for this.
Yeah, he's big on the state sign.
Yeah, he said no appropriations until the King of Welcome signs is restored to its throne, and that would be the old Crossroads of America sign.
Hey, look, I don't mean to add any pressure to you, but if you're over your shoulder, Dion is like right outside the door.
Is he here again?
He's hiding now. He was there. I saw him, and now he's like, there he is. You should tell him to come in and let's ask him a question here.
Okay.
Because the sign, I think, is still valid that he has not had any complaints.
All right. 60.
I was waiting till the break.
Do you have bad news?
Tell us about the complaint.
Do we have to go back down to 0?
No, I just came in to put my hand on Rob's head because I'm just trying to figure this out because I'm looking at my feeds and stuff, and Rob's at the State House with like politicians that like him. So I'm like, is this gonna hurt ratings? What's going on now? We're almost at 90 days.
Yeah.
Of no complaints.
Of no complaints.
Yeah.
He's at the State House.
Yeah.
Politicians like him.
He got a bro hug from the governor.
Yeah.
What's the deal, bruh?
And Rokita's advertising on the radio station now. So, I mean, it's really been just a great time. See, I told you if you just stuck with me, it would be fine. So, I realized it was
There's
a long
learning curve. Ignore the previous 5 years.
So anyway, I hope we made you proud. I mean, we brought a lot of people to the State House, and the whole time I told Casey, I said, we can't let Dion down.
Right.
We know this is a pretty simplistic one. I mean, we all want lower taxes.
Yeah,
so.
right? Absolutely. So we're fighting for you. So just remember that.
Oh, please continue to fight for me.
Dion, you're the best. I just wanted to point out that the sign is still active, and you could confirm to the audience that we have not indeed had any complaints directed your way.
Not only have we not had any complaints, politicians like you.
Yeah,
now.
I know. It's a bizarre world.
What?
I'll ruin it. Don't worry, I'll ruin it for you eventually. Just enjoy it while I'll ruin it.
It's a symbiotic relationship for now. Just
hold it while it is.
Just give him a minute, right?
Now I feel like we at least earned ourselves another week because he would have fired us right there. He had the opportunity.
so?
I think we earned at least another week.
I don't think he'd do it on the air.
Well, that's true.
I think it's the meeting after we get off.
I was going to ask him. He left. Next time he comes in, we'll ask him, what's the worst complaint he's ever had?
About you or anybody?
Just about us.
I'd like to hear about anybody.
Well,
that's true. That's a
he probably
whopper.
can't repeat that on the air.
Probably not.
I mean, isn't that funny? The Holcomb administration went away and the complaints stopped. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, there's correlation there.
There's no way that's a coincidence, right? This is Jarek Yolcomb calling to
right? Made up name. Okay, Abdul is going to join us next, correct?
That's right. We're going to talk about a woman who was convicted of a felony or pled guilty to a felony, and it was a felony, and she's now her reasoning that things happened is very interesting.
Okay, he's on the way next from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 3:06 this afternoon. We could have some severe thunderstorms in the afternoon. We're keeping an eye on that and more Hammer and Nigel Records Madness. 93 WIBC.
Greetings from our agency, your Indiana Health Insurance Pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for making us national sales leaders once again for 2024. Crazy sign-up periods are at last over. If you were told the ACA and it's still Obamacare was your only option, that's just not true. If you were told since you've signed up already, you must keep your ACA program for a year, that's not true either. If you do not have serious health problems, and God forbid make a living wage, the ACA is your worst option, and it can be canceled at any time. We feature coverages guaranteed age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. Self-employed, early retiree, or ACA victim, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. That's 317-563-0868 or rragency.org. As always, God bless America. Peace through strength and common sense government.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. When your garage floor has stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your whole garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job looks even worse. Look, spring will be here on March 20th. For your best price of the year on your new garage floor, basement, or patio, and installation this spring, please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Guaranteed, a Comer & Cross concrete floor coating won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. In one day, we make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. And apply your gleaming new Comer & Cross concrete floor in 6 stages, just in time for spring. for your best price of the year on your new garage, floor, basement, or patio, and installation by spring. Please call me now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text ENERGY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ENRGY to 42424. That's ENERGY to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indy. Darren Andrews, clinic director, is here to tell us more.
The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Grow your hair back today at WeGrowHairIndy.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your evaluation. 317-522-2995.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Here's the story of the hurricane. The man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done.
Headline, IndyPolitics.org, menopause made her do it. How can we not discuss that? It is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Look who it is. Author, broadcaster.
General pain in the butt.
Yes, Abdul-Hakim Shabazz. Hello.
Hello, my friend.
All right, so yes, I'm going over to IndyPolitics.org. I saw the headline. I said, we must lead with this. Menopause made her do it. Now, this is in regards to, in case we're going to bring you in here in just a moment,
of course,
as the residential woman expert on the program. Denise Paul Hatch, the once upon a time Center Township Constable, is that right?
Yes, the once upon a time, the former Center Township Constable had to vacate her office when she was convicted of a felony.
Yes, she had a string of run-ins with the law. That's correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then in the state of Indiana, you cannot be, if you're convicted of a felony or plead guilty to a felony, you are out of your public office.
Exactly.
Dunzo.
Yep.
Okay, so she pled guilty to a felony and was then removed as the Center Township Constable, and now she's trying to say, I'd like to undo my plea.
Yes, because she pled guilty to official misconduct and disorderly conduct and some other charges. And at the time, and whenever you enter a guilty plea, the judge goes through a list of things. You know,
Yeah.
Are you doing this on your own accord? Do you understand what's in front of you? Has anyone paid you to do
Sure.
this? Has anyone threatened you to do this? If you answer truthfully, no. And
that's all under penalty of perjury, right? Like you're telling the court, basically.
Yes. So after all that, and this is like back in October, November of last year, And then I was on mycase.gov, the state's sort of legal website that you look up case law. I'm like, I wonder what's going on with Denise Paul Hatch these days. So I typed in her name, and I saw a motion to vacate the plea agreement. I'm like, that's kind of odd. I wonder what happened there. So I went and read the filings, and she said she argued ineffective counsel. Okay, whatever. She also argued she didn't understand the plea agreement, and also, and it was the last one that got me. She also blamed that she was going through menopause.
Oh.
And by going through menopause, she wasn't able to think clearly and fully appreciate what was in front of her.
Oh. So, okay, so she's 65.
Yes.
Right? Now, I am going to have to think back to 8th grade health. I was focused on other things in the 8th grade health session, not necessarily the menopause portion of it. But, Case, menopause seems a little long in the tooth for 65. Am I wrong? You're the residential woman expert here.
Well, that does seem a little late. It does take a few years to completely go through that entire transition. I've heard some people can start at around 35, which would be early. I would think that if she's saying at 65 she's going through menopause, that means that she was starting in perimenopause around 60. Possibly.
Then that seems a little long.
That seems a little late to me.
Doesn't mean it couldn't happen.
Every body is different. So I'm not going to say that, no, that's not correct. But I think it's interesting that she is using that as her reason.
And what was interesting was, even more interesting than that was in the state's response, and the state did it brilliantly. They're like, no, Mrs. Hatch says she's going through menopause. She has produced no evidence to show that she is going through menopause. No doctor's note.
Well,
no trip for the physician.
Well, I mean, what's she gonna do? Her night sweat soaked sheets. Here's where I sweat my butt off last night. Here are the sheets to prove it.
But at the very least, so if you're going to offer it up as a defense, you got to present evidence.
Sure, something.
Just saying that I was on menopause just isn't enough.
Here's the box of Kleenex I went through from crying.
Yeah. Here are the scars of my husband from smacking him around.
Right.
Okay, is she still in the pokey or is she out?
I think she's still behind bars.
Oh, she is. So maybe that's what she was trying to do. Because my question is, like, what is the point of all of this now? Your reputation has clearly been stained. You had a long list of run-ins with the law at various times. It's not almost all those made the news in some capacity. You've already pled guilty. What are we going to unthink the things that we think about you?
I'm not sure what her logic and rationale was. However, I did before I went to the property tax event last night up in Fishers. I stopped by Blend, the cigar bar on the north side of town, and I ran into some of my Center Township Democrat friends. And I was like, Abdul, what's going on with Denise Paul Hatch? Menopause? Like, yep, that's what she said. They couldn't believe it.
So what are you saying, that doesn't work as a defense?
No.
Okay.
At least not without, at the very least,
scratching that one
at
off
least
my
not, at
list.
least
don't try that.
Don't use that.
At least not without some sort of evidence. Because if you're going to claim a medical condition is responsible for what you did, you got to have doctors, witnesses, medical records, the whole 9 yards.
So at least some sort of long line of doctor's visits or prescription to help through.
But even if you had that, that's not an excuse. There's lots of people who are going through that who are of sound, are not in, committing crimes against humanity. They're not finding themselves behind bars.
When the judge asks you, and it goes down the list, do you enter this guilty plea on your own accord, on your own free will? You have anything, and also, I want to say in some cases they have like sort of a blanket question. Is there anything else that may have influenced your decision to plead guilty or not plead guilty?
And you're supposed to be honest with those, right? Are you held? It's like the same standard a witness would be, that you got to be honest with the judge.
Exactly. And so the judge denied our motion to vacate her plea agreement. Like, no, I'm not doing this.
Okay. So, and look, I mean, we're spending a bit of time on this because it's utterly ridiculous, but this woman is utterly ridiculous. But she was also an elected person. I mean, these are the sort of people who get elected to public office. And by the way, isn't her replacement, isn't there all sorts of drama with the person that was picked to replace her?
Yeah, Kenneth Allen, who used to be on the IPS school board, who ran for trustee, and there were some issues about whether he lived in the district the way he was supposed to.
Because he was caucused in to this position.
He was caucused in to replace Denise Paul Hatch. And there's a question as to whether he lived in the district. There's some evidence that he may have lived in Washington Township and not down the street. Let me put it this way. I'm going to be in business for quite a while until I hit menopause.
Okay. So let's come back to this, though. It comes back to the conversation. Let's bring it all back to the property tax thing. Throughout the property tax debates that we've seen in the House and Senate, you've seen sort of an admission from these lawmakers, this local government system is broken. I present to you Exhibit A. You have this complete nut job who is in this position. There's no need for that position to even exist. What do? They serve people who get sued.
They serve a township council basically serves people who get sued, and they also provide court security for the small claims courts.
Okay. You don't think that couldn't be done by
a sheriff's department?
Thank you very much. Yes. And yet here we are. We were paying this woman. She has a staff, right? Weren't they following her around at they were at somebody. You were filming them. They were walking. Was it with Kern?
Yeah. And also, and make life even more interesting, because Kern, Whitley, and all those nut jobs are all with Denise Paul Hatch. Kern's is a nut job. Kern's got some other issues. Kern's actually a decent guy. But I will say this, though. In particular in the Center Township office, not only was Denise Paul Hatch her issues, she also hired a bunch of felons who were carrying guns.
Oh, jeez.
Like, you can't do that.
Because there was something, I don't know if it was with her or what, but Kern was there in support, and you were trying to interview him, and they were walking with him or behind him. So she's got a staff of people.
An entourage of deputy constables. Exactly.
Jeez Louise.
And then she got locked out of the office for a while, and her and the Center Township trustee have been fighting each other.
So this is where your tax money's going, right? To people like this. Don't tell me we can't reform local government.
Well, that's why I say consolidate it, number one, start there, and then get rid of these unnecessary offices. But
all right, real quick before we let you go, you were at the rally on Monday, and even you, I know you are loath to say anything nice about me, but you said, "Hey, that was a pretty good little showing we had there."
Yeah, you guys had a good showing. But like I told you afterwards, the hard part, now the work begins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because anybody can rally. Teachers rally, the unions rally. Everybody has to rally at the State House.
Not as good as us, but go ahead.
And not with as many beautiful people.
Mm-hmm. Every other day. I know, because I was there. But the thing is, now comes the hard part, which is the long stretch, which is engaging lawmakers, telling people their stories, doing proper, and to get property tax reform done right. Because if it's going to be done right, it can't be done quickly.
Yeah, well, you and I said this yesterday, and we got into it with Merritt. Merritt thinks that Merritt thinks now, and this is what a theory. They're going to try to tuck this. The House and Senate are going to try to tuck this into the budget to get the bull crap passed and dare Braun to veto the budget. And he thinks Braun will have to veto the budget, which would be the first time basically in Merritt's political life, and he's been paying attention since the earth was young, that a governor vetoed the budget. That would be the best thing to ever happen to this radio show if the governor had to actually veto the budget, which he would have to do if there's no property tax relief.
And once if the budget is vetoed, the old budget stays in effect until new budget is passed.
It'd be great.
If my memory serves
it'd
me
be
correctly.
outstanding. Look at what we've done, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what we've done. Look at the hours and hours of entertainment we've created for these people. Find them at IndyPolitics.org. Abdullah Shabazz, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening today. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Spring showers might bring flowers, but they can also bring roof leaks. Strong winds, heavy rain can expose hidden damage, leading to costly water issues inside your home. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets. Water can seep into your attic, walls, and insulation, causing mold, rot, and expensive structural damage. The good news? Moss Roofing. They offer free inspections. Whether it's a small leak or a big roofing concern, their expert team will assess the damage and provide reliable, cost-effective solutions. With over 35 years of experience, Moss Roofing knows how to protect your home from the unpredictable spring weather. Don't wait for a minor drip to turn into a major repair. For top-notch roofing services, trust Moss Roofing to keep you dry this spring. For a job done right every single time, visit mossroofing.com. Call 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665 or go online to Moss Roofing. MOSS, mossroofing.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-268-4420. 800-268-4420. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-268-4420.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's our us.